7 minutes and 29 seconds. Go. What's up, everyone, and how are you doing today? Fernando.
Good, how are you?
You sure?
No.
Okay. There we go.
Tired.
Yeah.
I'm tired.
Welcome to the most hated aspect ratio on the internet. That is what we like to call 5 minutes with 5-star on Instagram. Yay! If you're watching this on Monday, the rebroadcast, which this is not,
You're gonna hate
we
it.
do this every day, and you hate it. Listen to it as a podcast. That's all I can say. Enjoy it as a podcast.
Yeah. And happy Veterans Day for everybody. Serve.
Yeah, that was good. Good. Well thought out.
Oh, I just posted my picture.
Aww.
It's 5-star. So.
Good job. So, what are we doing on the laser today? Well, so we came up with an idea of giving away a gift to you guys because the holidays are fast approaching. As Haley likes to say, it's Christmas.
Spirit.
It's Christmas, man. We spent
Already?
Yesterday we started putting up Christmas decorations.
Okay.
So lots of fun there. Hurt my toe. Went for a 5K. Had a great weekend.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So the thought was, because I'm a big believer in Christmas, was making a Christmas ornament, 10 of them, just 10, that we're going to randomly give away. Go Navy. Exactly. We had a guy from the Army here earlier today. Go Army. Go Navy.
Hey,
Go all of you guys.
all of you guys.
You're
Yeah,
doing
exactly.
something that I don't want to do, and I thank you for it. So, anyways, what we were thinking about doing was giving away Christmas ornaments.
What's up, Peru?
So this weekend I took some time in the midst of Jesus decorating the house to come up with a Christmas ornament that we're going to be giving away. And right now we're doing a proof run on it to see how it looks. We did a wood proof run. Now we're doing a acrylic proof run. So it's over here doing its thing. Oh, what could it be? I don't know if I like it
Tell
yet.
them.
I don't know if I like it yet, but the wood one turned out okay.
Yeah.
I'm just not sold on it yet.
Okay. 5 minutes left.
5 minutes left. We'll see what it is, but it's jamming over
You're
there.
not gonna see it because it's only 5 minutes with 5 stars. So
Yeah,
sorry,
yeah,
guys.
because that apparently you can only go an hour on these things. But tonight is Monday night, which means we'll be doing the cool Facebook show, living the dream. Man, I saw a notification as I'm in the middle of watching the YouTube repost from the past Saturday. There you go, right? Oh my gosh. All right, what do we got here?
All right, Pioneer AV Edge. I'm gonna say is the 4000 NEX.
Is there a
a
front
front camera trigger?
No.
I'm installing on a motorcycle. I want to press the button to turn on and back. Yeah.
I don't think that one was front. I don't think the 4500. Okay, I think it got the trigger in the 4100. It might have been an update. But how you do it to see if it has it is you go to, if it has the option in the AV settings for a front camera, then what you have to do is select camera in the drop down menu, select camera. If there isn't a hard button, sometimes there's a hard button. If you hold one of the buttons, it'll automatically turn on the rear camera. When it turns on the rear camera, in the bottom corner, there's an option to go to front camera. So there's not just like one button that'll force the camera to come on. You'd have to turn on camera, which will pull up the rear, and then switch to the front.
All right. It is possible
Yay.
to add an extra camera with the factory backup camera.
Yeah.
Yeah. It depends what kind of car you have.
It also
Pack.
Well, it also depends too on what you're planning on using that camera for. So if it's still
Correct.
So if, for example, you wanted to add, let's say you have a pickup truck and you want to, the one in the tailgate doesn't work because let's say you tow something and you want to put one up at the third brake light. Pack makes the
EcoMaster made.
Yeah, under that. No, it's Pack. It's Pack. The 21.
Yeah. Okay. You're talking about the interface.
Yeah, so it's like
okay.
the AV something 21. It's a
Yeah.
dual camera switching system. It's a dual AV switching system that you can use to switch two cameras.
Right.
But it would be under Pack cameras. Maybe give them a call. I don't know the part numbers off the top of my head, but they do make a dual camera switching system.
EcoMaster.
You would have to tie into the factory camera turn it back over to a composite or RCA style.
Yeah.
And then, so it's doable. It's not easy, but it's doable.
Snowing, huh? Wow.
Ain't snowing here. No front trigger, but switch on screen.
Oh yeah,
so
you
yes.
can switch it on the screen.
Yeah, you'd have to switch it on the screen. So it would be go to camera.
It's on New York.
And then once it's on, once you've selected in the AV settings front camera as your AV input, it'll automatically add the switch when the backup camera is displayed to switch to the front camera.
Yeah.
What you got? You gonna see if it's in there? You gonna find the part number?
I'm gonna find the part number.
Hey, good job. You're gonna. Oh, we're down to 2 minutes. Find the part number. Fernando will dig up that part number. Let's see where we're at on this. Ooh, it just started the 5-star logo. Okay, looking good. I want to add side mirror camera and a front camera. That's going to be
the 21.
To do side and front is going to be the 41. So that'll be the
BCI
Yeah.
H41.
So is that the
That's the BCI.
what's that one for though? That's the CH. That's for Chrysler.
That's for Chrysler.
So you
what
just
kind
want,
of car he has?
Well, it doesn't matter. I mean, okay, so if you just want the generic 4-channel switcher, I think that's the VCI 41. Video camera switcher. VCS? VCI. Maybe it's a VCS. Video camera switcher 41.
Yeah.
But yeah, the 41 has 4 inputs. It has 4 triggers. It uses the rear view camera input in the radio, whether it be factory or aftermarket, and it allows you to switch everything over from that. You would have to have a radio that has a reverse trigger input though, that actually turns on with a physical reverse wire, because that unit is going to, anytime you select one of the other cameras, is going to be forcing the reverse wire on to flip the image.
Right. I got nothing.
Yeah. I think it's There again, it's a pack piece. Bobby's in the house. Where are we at? We're down to, we got 24 seconds. Ooh, I'm gonna give you the phone then. Hold on, let's give Fernando the phone so he can.
All right,
Sounds like you guys are making. Here, take this.
What up?
Here, go ahead and take it. 7 seconds.
7 seconds.
Ooh, look at that. Made the hole this time. Didn't forget the hole. That was good. Okay. Alright, suck all the air out. There we go.
Frostbite is in the house. Do you say hi?
Hi, Frostbite Boxes. I gotta call him.
Yeah.
I mean, when we're done, I gotta call him. Or I gotta
Alright.
text him.
Dean, you gotta call Frostbite.
Okay.
I just remind you. Hello from Cincinnati.
Alright, so give me 1 second here, guys. Just want to get this.
I don't know.
stuff
It's
off.
okay. Take your time,
The
man.
full
You know.
effect here.
People have nothing to do.
I know, I
just
apologize. I apologize. I don't want it to waste anybody's time, and I still haven't figured out how we're going to give these things away. But
Don't worry. 2010 F-150 non-amplified system, and adding a key. Okay. What's the best way to get the signal to the amp?
by the Access T-harness. You go to Access at metroonline.com, type in the make, model, and year of your car. They're going to direct you towards an Access DSP T-harness. You just pick that guy up, and that'll give you the ability. We have a video that shows you how to modify it, modify the T-harness into anything, so that you can then get the signal inputs and outputs directly from the factory radio into your kicker key. I would recommend using the kicker key as a front stage only, and allow it to do the tweeters and the mid-range.
Hi from Germany, Mexico.
Sound good. Nice
Yeah.
and loud. Alright. Why do you always make things that are hard to peel?
Well, no, I haven't played with the DSP on my car. I still have the Sabco, and
Yeah, I know. We gotta pull it out and put in the mini.
now we have to pull this one right here. the mini DSP. I mean, right now it sounds good. Honestly, like it's awesome.
All right, so there we go. There it is. So that is the
Snowflake.
Snowflake. Yeah, I know, right?
I put it right there.
Oh, let's put it up to the light.
Nope,
Oh,
I
that's
can
it.
see
Come over.
nothing.
Come on. Dork.
Nope, nothing.
Yeah, you can totally see it. What are you
No,
talking
I don't
about?
see nothing.
Yeah, what are you talking about? Lights up the edge. Imagine that hanging from your Christmas tree. Wouldn't that be cool? So we're going to make 10 of these. I'm going to figure out some way to give them away. It's reverse cut so that the logo is smooth on the side here. It's got a little hole so you can hang it. Fun. Yay.
That's pretty cool.
So
Yeah.
here was our test run. And of course, as I'm cutting it, I go, a hole would be nice to hang it. Yeah. The logo's backwards because we wanted to be able to see.
Based dangler.
It's a Christmas-based angler.
Hey man,
So
you can
hang
put it
from
in your
Christmas
car.
tree while
Yeah.
you're watching your movies. I don't know. I thought it was cool. It's 3 inches, 3 inches tall.
Okay, it should have 5 points, not 6.
Originally that was the idea. I thought about doing a 5-pointed snowflake. But then I just thought it would look really weird because snowflakes are symmetrical. So if 5 would not be symmetrical, it would have looked weird. But that was my original plan, was to do a 5 points, and I was like, no. Make a mini speaker or speaker grill ornament. Yeah, but I like Christmas. Christmas is snowflakes. Because we don't have snow down here, so you know what I mean? Disney Plus tomorrow. Disney Plus today? What are you talking about, man? Today's the 11th. The Mandalorian starts today.
Oh, really?
I'm dissatisfied with that answer. All right, what answer was that? All right, hold on. Let me make sure. Let's see what.
What?
Hey, the fact that we're making snowflakes enough opens a whole nother box of silliness in today's society. It'd be nice if you matched up to 5 stars.
No, but I mean, it's kind of like...
No, flip it. You gotta flip it. There you go.
Yeah, but then you're not gonna see it. It's not a point.
That's okay. It's all right. Anyways, no, it's all about cosmetics, fun stuff like that. Based anglers, yeah. Snowflake, so it'll be holiday-based anglers. So we're gonna whip up 10 of these, and we'll figure out some way to give them out.
Yeah.
Because they're gonna cost me way more to ship than. Oh, yay! It's all about the fun. We have snow right now in Louisiana. See, we have no snow in Florida, so it's just our little way of passing it along. Thanks, Ed. I'm just kidding. Okay, good.
All right.
So what else we got?
Let's see.
Is that it? We good? Should we go? Should we move on? What happened to my clock? I thought I plugged it back in. Did I break my clock today?
I don't know what you did.
I thought I plugged it back in. Did I turn off the power? Oh, crap. Anyways, everyone would love them. They're awesome. Doug gives them out for
so
$7 a piece.
No harness available according to Access website? What?
For a 2019 Ford F-150, it's the same as the 2018. There's no harness available for it because it is a different system, but what you're doing is perfectly fine. It'll work just the way it's supposed to. Right? Yeah. Because, you're good. Yeah, the 2019 F-150 base model is the same plug as the 2018. It's everything else is different. Like there's no interface made for it or anything like that, even though it's the same interface. So yeah, you're good. Just pick up the 2018.
I'm still waiting for stickers.
I'll gladly send you snow. If you have it, if the stickers, we have stickers. I don't know what Sue's been doing.
Right.
So I thought she was sending some more out. I'll check and see where she's at. As long as you've sent an email to the sticker email address, then you will have stickers coming. If you went any other way, you will not have stickers coming because I have people that email me on my regular page and I don't know
my home address
off the top of the but I'm just saying sometimes people email me and I'm like no, you got to go to that email address. I don't handle that. That's Sue's department. Everyone say thanks to veterans. As Fernando said at the beginning of the show, we'll say at the top of the show, bottom, whatever this is. Thank you again, veterans, for doing a job that is very thankless and I didn't want to do.
And for what they do and everything.
Yeah, I mean it's awesome. But thank you so much for
We
doing
have a
it.
veteran. Well, actually, he's active.
He's
right?
active. Yeah,
he's
today. Active from the Army. Drove in,
Yeah.
we tuned up his Jeep, made it sound better.
He was happy.
Oh, he was real happy.
Yeah.
Because it sounded like dog crap. Oof. Man, that was
Yeah.
rough.
Yeah.
And, you know, here's the thing, too. I can totally appreciate when you guys complain about other places doing crappy installs. I feel that there are plenty of places out there that do crappy installs, but like this guy, he was totally fine with a crappy install. Like it was Jeep, the dash kit was wrong, the radio was countersunk it just totally looked like crap. The Sirius XM antenna was stuck on top of the dash. His Bluetooth mic was in his gauge cluster. You could see the RCA going into the amplifier. You know, and that was just me opening the door, looking into the car, and I'm like, how did he not say anything? Like,
well, I mean,
and I freak out,
I
you
don't
know.
know. Maybe
I freak out if there's not enough zip ties.
maybe some people, they just don't know any better, and they just like fine with that.
I guess. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, it sounded like crap. That was, I guess, the most important thing.
That was the reason
I guess if
he
it would have
was
looked
here.
like, if it would look terrible but sounded good, he would have been fine, I'm guessing.
Okay.
Thank you, veterans. We love you for the service. For you that all served and are serving. Good one. Thank you. Thank them. Installed my first RCA to my head unit today. The installer that did it prior left a bloody rat's nest. Oh, gosh. I thought it was actually a bloody rat's nest. Behind the radio, like uncapped wires, the wires that don't go anywhere. Oh, yeah. Well, that's common practice, you know, until it bites you in the butt. They're going to do that. I mean, years and years and years ago, I did so the Gallardo used to come with a factory Kenwood radio in it, okay? And so it was all factory Kenwood plug, factory Kenwood everything. So when we got it and we were putting in a sub amp and a highs amp, I think we put a 5, you know, like a sub amp. Back then there wasn't too many 5 channels, so it was probably a 4 channel and a mono block. And you know, you cut the wires, you tape them all up, and you put it all back together, zip tied in a nice little bundle behind the radio.
Okay.
And I got a phone call from the handler, not the consumer. He never got to see it. Or he never knew this even happened. And he was like, dude, I got it at my paint and body shop, and the radio doesn't work, because he was having some scratches or something fixed on it for him. And because we did a lot of work for a car concierge. And I was like, what are you talking about? It worked fine an hour ago. I don't know, man. The body shop's calling me and telling me nothing's turning on. And I was like, okay. I said, well, what else? I go, is that it? He's like, yeah. And I was like, okay. And he goes, oh, one other thing. The radio's flashing amp. I was like, all right, so it's a Kenwood flashing amp. That means that the speaker wires are shorted out. I'm like, how's that even possible? They're not hooked up to anything. So what had happened is when I taped up all the wires and I cut them flush, they were all cut to the same length. Well, one of the little wires was just long enough to where it decided to touch one of the other little wires, which shorted out the radio and triggered the amp warning in it. That's why every wire, regardless of what it does, where it goes, gets a cap on it. That's why we put all these little, you guys always ask where we get. Yeah. That's why we put all these little yellow things on there, because they're just the right size to cap off that wire. Yeah. That was that lesson learned that, even though that's not going to be doing anything in the stereo we're building, there's still something going on there, and those need to be protected wires. So that's why everything, you know, I've seen guys that do staggered cuts. So it's like they'll cut every 1/8 of an inch so that the harness is still there, but it's like, yeah, but then what do you have to do if you ever want to use that again? I mean, there's some things that make sense and some things that don't. That would work, but... Yeah. And don't even get me started on some of those Jeep harnesses that come with the Alpine Restyle kits. If you're putting in a Restyle radio from Alpine and you're not opening up that kit, that wiring harness, and redoing it, you should. Because that's some scary little crap.
All right. Hertz DG 6.5 versus the Focal integration, ISS.
Integration.
Or the Kicker KS.
KS.
So,
and that just in order. DGs, Focal, KS.
Yeah.
There you go.
I mean, KS sounds really good.
Focal for the win if you want quality. Hertz for loud. Kicker for the cheap. No, I don't agree with that at all. Nope. I'm going for sound quality here. I guarantee you that in that order. No, the kicker will not be cheap. The kicker will destroy both of those speakers.
Oh yes.
It'll destroy them.
Chaos.
Guaranteed to destroy them. I
wish
again,
you can have the ability to hear Haley's car.
Oh yeah, it'll destroy them.
It's just like
yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. I like all those speakers.
Yeah.
But if those are my three choices, that's what I'm taking.
Right. No.
And I'd much prefer you guys ask that question as opposed to what do I think of what 6.5 is good, because then I got to pull something out of my butt. Mm-hmm. But if you're giving me a choice and this is the only three speakers I have to choose from, those are the ones I'm going with.
Yeah.
There again, you don't have to take my word for it. You know, you've asked my choice, and those are what I would pick. Now, you could obviously go up to like some Centos. You could get into the Focal Access. These are going to be better speakers.
Yeah. I didn't install plates, do my ground for my amp. They drill into the trunk.
Okay.
Base, then clean the paint and just use like a 9 of those
self-tappers
screws to hold it down. 9.
Wow. Woo.
Hey.
Well, so let's talk about that grounding for a second as far as how you're going to do it. Okay, so if you can't find a factory ground point, what I mean by a factory ground point is somewhere where there is an actual physical factory ground attached, not a seat bolt, not a random bolt in the trunk, an actual bolt with a factory ground attached to it. That is a factory ground point. Everything else is just kind of like there. Now, if you can't find one of those and you're having to ground into it, there's a terminal called an URL, and an URL is a big flat terminal, okay? So it's like a 1 inch by 1 inch, and it's got 4 holes in it. And the idea behind it is you scrape off a lot of paint, you put 3 or 4 screws into it, and it's huge. So it's a big ground plane, all right? I'm not gonna necessarily use those, but that's an option.
I'm not a fan of it, but
it's not that I'm not a fan. To me, that's not how I do my grounds.
Right.
But there's an argument to be said there because you have a big flat area as a ground plane, so you have a bigger surface. So that's their argument and why that works. Now, the other option, of course, is to seal or scrape off all the paint, and then you can use one of these. This is at positiveground.com. If you're a Metro dealer, they sell these too, but it's easier just to go to positiveground.com. You don't have to buy the whole kit. You can actually just buy parts.
Yeah.
So these guys here, these are the locking, self-tapping kind of screws that they use. Now, the kit includes 3 things. It includes this cool step drill bit right here.
First step.
This is number 1, so you do this first, okay?
Drill hole.
Next, use this guy right here. Now, it has this pin in it because it's designed to line up with this drill bit. So this goes in. As you can see, it's tapered there. And so you have a hole now. You put this in, it makes a perfect circle. It's really cool. That's also why this band is on here.
Yep.
To keep those nice and tight so they don't, like, fray out and go crazy. You got your cool electrolytic crap sticky goo here to keep it from corroding.
Yep. You got here.
Next, you have this guy here. You have a locking washer, so this goes on like that. And grab a ring terminal. Oh, over there where the ring terminals are. Come on, man. Come on. Take your time. Take your time.
All right, so this one goes here. This one's goes.
Slow down. Let me focus. All right.
So you got your ground, you got your wire.
Yeah.
This one goes.
Hold on. Whoa, back it out. Nope. This goes on first. Yep. Sorry. This goes on first. That goes on next. Now, if it's in a place where most of the time you can't get to the other side, that's fine. This bolt is designed to thread into the metal and lock in place. Okay, and it does an exceptional job to it. However, if you're in a location where, let's say on the floorboard somewhere where you can get to the back side of it and you want to put it on super tight, now they come with nuts that you can attach to the back side.
These nuts.
These nuts. Now I can tell you, there you go, Bobby. Now I can tell you, most of the time that nut isn't getting put on the back side of it and they will never come loose.
Right.
When we're doing in the trunk of a car where it's going to be on where there's actual metal and you can get to the backside, or in some of the pickup trucks where you can crawl up underneath the car. Most of the time, though, where these are going are inside panels where you're not going to be able to get to the backside of it. But now I will tell you this. This is not a cheap kit. Oh, one other thing it comes with. 3-part nut driver. So the last part is it does come with the nut driver here, magnetic nut driver that's, to do this. You can order just these bolts from them. Okay? You can order just these. You can order all the parts separately. You don't have to have the full kit. If you're an installer though, just get the whole kit and replace as needed. I wish they lived in Florida. Yes, because we don't have snow. Look at that. Snow, just heat.
Hot outside, man.
Yeah, although by Wednesday it should be like 60-something.
When?
Best speaker brand for a Toyota Tacoma 2017 or in general. Well, okay, so just like we literally just said, if you're trying to do a Toyota and you want to keep life easy, Focal does make the plug-and-play series.
Yep.
Doesn't get any easier than that. You buy them, they come with all the harnesses for the Toyotas. You literally just pop them in place. They sound phenomenal. They're super easy to do for the most part. So, yeah.
Now, if you actually want to take a look at video that we did on the Toyota
Yes, we do have a
Tacoma,
video.
We put the Phoenix Gold XM
MX.
MX. I'm sorry, MX.
Yeah, but see, the
speakers.
only problem with those is they don't have a tweeter. So all the Toyotas have tweeters. I mean, you could do the. You could also do the Kenwood Exelons, the new ones with the 2.5 inch and the 6x9, because those come with the brackets too. They just aren't plug and play. So, on a Kicker 5-channel DSP amplifier. Yes. Yeah. What about him? It's a Q Class 1005.
He wanted to do the Kicker.
That's right.
The Kicker speakers.
Right there.
The DCs or the full color integration. Remember?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. On a Q Class 1005. Jesus, that's an expensive amp to put those speakers on. I mean. Personally, I would spend a little bit more money on the speakers, maybe up to the Access. I would, if you could swing it, I would go up to the Access. That would be me personally, or the Q Class. But yeah, but I would go a little bit more on speakers.
Yeah.
Love my black Hydra components for audio quality. Okay.
Yep.
Have you ever done an install in a minivan? Of course. I mean, dude, minivans were all the rage. I mean, I've done SPL builds in minivans, at least been part of them. We used to have, dude, minivans were all, I mean, you got to remember, I'm from the 90s, man. That's when I started back in 1990. Minivans, that's all we did. And actually, funny thing is, the first car I worked on when I got here, when there was none of the install bay, it was literally just 6 sides and a really crappy ramp. The first job we did was, this is before you obviously, was a minivan. It was a Dodge Town & Country or Chrysler Town & Country minivan that we put, Paul was so excited. He sold them all Alpine stuff. So it was an Alpine radio, Alpine R-type speakers. He had an assistant show up. Apparently, I didn't know he'd hired 2 installers. So I wasn't unaware of that, and that was the only day that guy worked, because he sucked big time. And I was like, please don't have him ever come back and help me again. That was horrible.
And you guys remember when I said the Dean is speaking? Yeah, it is right there.
Oh, dude, it was crap. So. Yeah. The thing that I remember from that install is that we had Memphis at the time, and he was so excited. He sold a Memphis power kit with distribution blocks and all that. And this guy was like, I'm going to do all this. And I was like, okay, sure. Yeah, you tear that up. And so he wired up the amplifiers on the box and ran the power wire. And then the power wire came back, and he's like, dude, the power wire's short. I was like, what do you mean the power wire's short? He goes, yeah, it won't reach to the battery. It's like 3 feet too short. And I was like, huh. Okay, cool. That sucks. So at 6:30 at the end of the day, when it was time for him to go, I was like, no, man, you go. And I stayed here till about 9 o'clock, pulling all his work apart, rewiring it. Hey, guess what? Guess what? Go ahead, guess what? Guess what? Hey, the power wire reached.
Really?
Oh, it's like magical. I don't know how that happened.
You're lying. You're
lying. Stupid. Hey guys, just purchased the Helix Mini DSP. What's your thoughts on it? So I haven't put it in yet, but I have played with it extensively on the software side. Dude, it is cool, and oh my god, the amount of stuff it does. Now, keep in mind, integration-wise, if you're doing 4-channel integration, it's got, it has a,
Well, up mixer.
DEQ. It has a center channel up mixer. So strongly recommend thinking about adding a center channel if you haven't decided to do that yet. But even if you don't, it'll do front, rear, or tweeter, mid, and sub and center. Very sexy. But the DEQ portion and the up mixer portion of it are really nice. They really thought out real well. So if you're integrating into a factory head unit, it will definitely make things a lot better. If you're not, it's still going to be good. Big Fun, love your YouTube. Thanks.
All right. Hey, I asked about.
Oh, big fan. I like Big Fun too.
Yeah. I asked about replacing my Moscone DSP amp. Really considering this now, it doesn't have channel independent parametric equalizer.
What? What is it?
Moscone.
Yeah, what Moscone is that?
I asked about replacing my Moscone DSP amp. Really considering.
Give me a model number.
As it doesn't have the channel.
What's up from UK?
Yeah,
I need a model number on that
model
DSP. I'd have to see that. Dude, I didn't know there was a Moscone out there that didn't have 31 multi-channel.
Parametric.
But Helix is something to consider.
Yeah.
Just saying.
I mean, but I'm sure Moscone has.
I don't know. Because they make like 6 different DSPs. Honestly, it's one of the only brand DSPs that we haven't had a chance to play with yet. And it's not on my list of things to do right away, is the Focal or the Moscone. Mainly because we've reached out to them a couple times, and it's just kind of been vaporware conversations.
Haven't worked out yet.
And that's okay. It's not the end of the world.
Yeah.
But right now we have so much on our plate, it wouldn't matter even if they did come to us, because we wouldn't be looking at them until next year sometime. Because we have, the thing is even though, like, between the Zapco and the Arc and the Helix, we want to make sure we give each one of these an ample amount of time. Yup, Moscone, channel 1 and 2, etc. Yeah, okay. Give me a model number, Peter.
Yeah.
Give me the model number of what DSP is it? I want to just, I'll take a look at it, see what I'm missing here.
Correct.
But I just want the model number.
Yeah.
But no, that's weird. Oh, I know what it is. It might be, okay, so, So it's like front EQ, rear. So like the audio control when it first shipped. Remember when the audio control first shipped, it was just front, rear, sub. There was only 31 bands per setup. So it was like you had 31 bands for front, 31 bands for rear, 31 bands for sub. But then everyone went to Chris and was like, you suck. And he was like, no problem, we got this. And there's a selector switch, where you can turn on independent left and right EQs. So on the DM EQs are all now 31 bands per channel, but default out of the box is just front, rear, sub. You have to go in and actually select independence.
All right, that's the D2 104. Okay,
I'm going to check it out.
Yeah.
4 to 6. All right, thanks, Peter. I'm going to look into that software. I want to see what it has.
Can...
DSR1 has that, so maybe just get a good 4-channel amp and do tuning in a DSR1. I mean, that's definitely a valid, that you could do that. I mean, you could also, go with the D4.800 from Audio Control. Just a thought there. Yeah. I mean, unless you just want to go total external DSP,
correct,
which I can understand. That makes sense.
Yeah. Can 4 L7As hit as harder as 2 L712s?
I don't know. That's a tough one.
That's a tough one, man.
I mean... So here's my thought on that. Depending on what you're trying to do, because I'm thinking like if you're doing 4.8, you're putting them in a box like underneath the seat of a truck, where you could never put 2 12s in the first place. So it's like, yeah, cool, let's do that. So from that perspective, that would probably sound better. Are we talking shallow L7s though? Are we doing L7Ts? Because I think if you're doing 2 L7 12s in a big ported box, you're just going to get some sound out of those. You're just not going to get out of those 8s.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, they're both going to sound great. Don't get me wrong. I mean,
it's
you got an 8 in your car right now in ported box. That's the ported box. Everyone bitched at us because you could have put a 12 in what you. Yeah, we could have, but we didn't because we wanted that.
Yeah. And honestly, I'm happy with the 8 and the 6s.
It just comes down to what the heck is going on.
What do you want actually?
I want to
drive my F-150 from Washington and have you guys do a stereo.
If you're in Washington, just cruise over and see Ada at Absolute. He's in Rockville, Maryland. It's right over there.
Yeah.
You know, just say, hey, I want a 5-star install,
But
dude.
if you're gonna drive, man,
Don't cut no
drive,
corners.
It's okay.
He wouldn't do that anyways. But yeah. I mean, if you
Yeah.
want to, we've had plenty of people that actually throw their cars on the train. Isn't that where X-Man is from? Isn't he
I think
from up
so.
that way?
I think so. Yeah.
I think-
no. I think
Isn't
he's
he?
not from Washington.
I thought he was up in that area.
No, but he actually brings his car like
He
that.
threw it on the train and came down because he went and rode his bike down in Key West
Yep.
and did all that fun
Yep,
stuff.
he
So
did.
he actually planned a vacation and stopped here on the trip, and of course brought us our Voss water. That stuff right there.
I like Bobby's comment. So
Instead of 5 minutes.
5 minutes, it's now 1 hour with 5 stars.
Could be. Yeah, it kind of feels that way. When are the new Prime amps coming out? I don't know. You know what? So here's the deal. I need to talk to Eric, and I'll probably do that when I hang up here. All these guys are just getting back from
Eric?
SEMA, or no? Yeah,
Bill.
Eric. No, Eric. I'm
Oh,
not
Eric.
Bill. I'm gonna
Yes.
talk to Eric.
I'm sorry, man.
So all these guys are just getting back from SEMA, and you know, I don't want to just. I know they're coming back to desks full of crap.
Oh, yes.
So I don't want to reach out to any of them quite yet, but
It's stressful, man. Like when you come from those kind of trips.
I don't wanna be that
when
guy.
we go to Knowledge Fest, you know, we come
Yeah.
over here and what we want to do? Nothing. It's just like, oh my god, so tired.
what do you think of the name High 10?
High 10?
Yeah,
For
so
what?
Stinger's new radio, the new 10-inch, so you have the Elevate. It's
Okay.
called the Elevate because it's an 8-inch screen. Now they introduced at SEMA, which we can now finally talk about, is the High 10, which is their 10-inch tablet. So all you guys have been asking about big tablets. The High 10 is going to be the new Stinger 10-inch tablet. It's not going to be released anytime soon, so just everyone take a breath there. It's not that exciting. But they're going to it's going to be called the High 10. I don't know if I like that name.
I don't like it.
I think it sounds kind of. I mean, I get the Elevate, so they're trying to go with that whole.
No, honestly,
movement thing.
Elevate, it's cool.
Yeah, I didn't.
I like it. I don't like the High 10. It's just like, okay.
I mean, I get it. It's like up, so you know the motion.
Yeah.
They're going for that whole motion name, Elevate, High. But yeah, so it's gonna be called the High 10. And it's going to have all the cool features. So you're going to have touch link and HDMI and 6-channel and EQ and all that fun stuff. When you guys come to California for Knowledge Fest, I'll pick you up from the airport. Yeah, but do you live in LA? I mean, dude, if you're over there in Anaheim area, man, that's like an hour drive. Yeah. I've done it. It sucks. I've done it twice. You got to hook up on the 405 and
Yeah,
that'd be oh dude.
I
Dude,
don't
that
know,
was
man.
so my Disney trip. We were leaving out of John Wayne International Airport, which is is it John Wayne? Yeah, John Wayne International Airport. Awesome airport, loved it. Been there twice now. Well, when they canceled our flight, and we're like, dude, you can't just cancel our flight. We need to get home. So like, all right, well, it was like 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock on a Friday. We had to get to LAX from Anaheim by 9 o'clock.
Oh wow, it's 3 hours. Wow.
Yeah, so we
That's
had
a lot,
we had
man.
to get from Anaheim to LA by 9 o'clock. It was 5 o'clock on a Friday. It was a goddamn parking lot, okay? And I mean that with oh my, dude, I don't know how people drive that every day. I would have a motorcycle because the motorcycles can ride up the center line.
Yeah.
And they don't get in trouble. It was horrible. We made it. We got there at like 8:15.
But we appreciate it, Bobby. Thank you.
3 hours from LA. Yeah, dude, I would
Yeah.
never ask you to do that in LA.
It's a lot.
That's crazy.
I mean,
as much as I want to see you.
Yeah, exactly.
Tell you
I mean,
what, it'll be
if
easier.
you wanted to do it,
Just wait another year. See, this week I'll be in California in Anaheim area in 2 years. So
yeah.
because we're going there to do the Disney thing again. I still want to go for Christmas.
All right. I mean, if that's what you want to do, man, why not? You know.
Would like to know if running one JL 1201 to two W7s is enough power to push them.
I'm gonna say that the
I'm gonna say no.
W710 is like what, 800 watts?
Are they that low? I mean, I don't think 1200 is enough. I mean, I'm sure it'll play them, but I don't think that's enough. I honestly don't think that's enough. I mean, it's 1200, which means it's probably about 1450 of real power. So that's... I mean, it's not going to sound bad, and if you put a battery in there, like if you add a second battery with that amp, make sure everything's topped off, got good voltage going to it, that would probably do the trick.
W7 is probably...
But I thought they were like 1,000 watts a piece, so I think you might be on the light side. Yeah. But there again, like I said, if you add the second battery and you make sure you have good voltage going to it, I mean, it's not like they're going to suck.
Right.
But yeah, then detour to Disneyland. It's tempting. Actually, if we could play it right, what we would do is we'd fly into John Wayne, we'd go to Disney for the day, and then that night we'd drive to L.A. and check it at the hotel. I mean, that would be the way to do it. But you know, I don't think the girls would be down with me doing that. They'd be kind of pissed.
What are you doing? What?
Yeah, they're like, Yeah, it's crazy. All right, guys. Well, this has already jumped the tracks. That's the only way I'll get a lanyard. I thought I sent you one. I didn't send him a lanyard? Oh, my gosh. Well, don't worry. We have a new California. So, the lanyards that you guys are talking about. So, what happens is if you actually come see us, we have these guys here. So, this is the Van Halen commemorative lanyard right here. So, if you come to see us, we give you a lanyard for stopping by and saying hi so that you have something to remember us by.
I got you. Don't worry.
This lanyard right here. So what we have is these are the Knowledge Fest lanyards. So this was our original lanyard that we made a couple years back. So we gave these away in Dallas, and then Indianapolis got these, and then Dallas got the Superman lanyard, which is this guy right here. So what's kind of happened is every trip we go on, we're designing new lanyards to hand out. So we have a California's lanyard is going to be SpongeBob based. I don't know why, but Haley seems to think that would be a cool lanyard, so I have to work on that one. I'm thinking like a Tiki Hut type thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't know. We're going to come up with something cool.
I have 2 batteries, so I can add a second.
And it would increase my bass sound. I have 2 batteries, so I can add a second, and it would give me a bass. It would give me, more bass. I mean, if that's what you're asking, it would definitely give you more bass. Because I need to make a Marvel one. Like an Avengers style. Still Ada's design for his t-shirt. His Absolute t-shirt where he did the Avengers thing. I just don't know how it would look. I'd have to... Dude, trust me. Designing the snowflake was enough of a headache. So, making this guy last night was like... What a pain.
Oh, no. Definitely adding a second amplifier definitely will give you plenty power for those 2.
Oh, okay. Is that what we're at? Okay,
yeah.
Another 1,200?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Or just getting a bigger... Well, I mean, that's a really nice amp, though.
I mean, if you already have one. Yeah.
Second part for the Highlander will be Wednesday. I know. I wanted it to be Monday. I wanted it for today. The goal was always for today.
What's up, Giovanni? The signs.
What's up? But what happened is Saturday night, I made the mistake of turning on the TV and watching TV till 4 o'clock in the morning. And then Sunday... Sue had us signed up. Haley and I signed up to run a little quick 5K. Took 5th place. And then the day just went sideways from there. Went out to lunch, and then we started decorating Christmas, because Haley wants to put up Christmas and crap like that. So by the time I got down to just get the 5 minutes with 5-star video up, which I originally just wanted to do for Sunday and it was like already 10 o'clock. And so editing that video, it's just time consuming. Plus, so it was like next thing I know, it's 1:30 in the morning, and I was like, God, wasn't the plan. But no, it'll be up Wednesday. So you'll have Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. We'll all be cool, install diaries.
Tonight I'll be the Mandalorian.
I know. Tonight will hopefully be bed. So tonight we're going, after the show, after the live show, we're heading over to Aaron's new car stereo shop, or should I say motorcycle stereo shop here that he just opened to do motorcycles and that kind of stuff, audio-wise, Havoc Motorsports, or whatever he's calling it.
I think it's Havoc.
Just Havoc? Is it Havoc Motorsports? Either way, we're going to head over there because Sue was like, oh, we should go say hi. So I was like, okay, so we'll do that. Yeah, Havoc. Yep.
You got it, Bobby.
And then, so we're going to,
yeah,
exactly. So we're going to head over there, say hi, check out the new store, and then edit the show. And I just want to go to bed. I'm not going to lie. I want to be in bed by like 11:30 for once. I feel I need to sleep. I also dropped the treadmill on my toe last night because we had a treadmill in the room and we don't use it anymore, and we kind of needed some room in the Star Wars room, and I dropped it on my toe, so now I have a sorry.
Yep.
Edit that out.
Waiting.
Woo!
I'm like, wow.
So I have a toe that's all messed up, so that really stinks. Sleep is overrated, but sometimes you need it. Yeah.
Man, yeah.
What's this? Did you take time out for yourself? How could you do that? I know, right?
Yeah.
Actually, there again, it wasn't even for myself. It was Christmas decorations to make Haley get off my back because she's like, we're doing Christmas Sunday. And I was like, it's not even December. It doesn't matter. I want them up before Thanksgiving. It's not even close. Doesn't matter. We're doing it Sunday. Because we're not. I'm like, all right, whatever. I get like 4 hours a night. Yeah, me too. It just kind of wears on you after a little bit. So,
yeah,
fun. All right, well, we got to figure out how we're going to give away the 10 lanyards. Maybe we'll give a couple away here. We'll give a couple away. Yeah, lanyards, snowflakes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you know, that. Oh, maybe we should do. Ooh, I wonder if we can clip the snowflakes on the lanyards.
Yeah.
That might be cool.
Oh,
Then we can give away 10 snowflakes and 10 lanyards. That would be neat. All right, guys. I think we're done. Yes, it's going to be a giveaway. We're going to give them away. I just haven't figured out how to do it yet. No, don't scratch it. You're going to scratch it.
Oh, you can make another one.
No.
Ow.
Yeah. No, I'm not going to make another one. We just won't. We'll just throw them in the box. We'll just throw it all in the box.
Or if you...
No, just let it go. It's okay. He's over here trying to figure out how to do this.
No, that's fine. Just for the Christmas.
Yeah. Just keep it simple, man. All right, guys. I'll sleep when I'm dead. Well, you know, with lack of sleep, you probably will be dead. At least that's my thought on it. I feel like that's eventually going to happen.
Right now, man. I don't want to be dead.
I don't know. I just know that I need to get some sleep because the other day when I was running, I literally stopped running while I was running.
Mm-hmm.
No, I mean physically stopped. My body stopped. I was like, whoa, what happened? Next thing I know, I'm walking, and I was like, why am I walking? I never walk. But I couldn't run anymore. I was like, okay, that's somebody telling me something.
Right.
Yeah. All right, so
all right, guys.
Thanks for sticking with this boring part of the conversation. Don't worry. Tonight, 6:30 Eastern Standard Time, in 3 hours, we'll be back live. We won't have to talk about any of this cool stuff because we've already done it. Check us out. Facebook, lots of fun.
Yep.
Have a good day. Bye. Yeah. Well, good day, everyone, and welcome to Tuesday. Well, you got to double tap on your phone. We wanted to come on and tell everyone about tonight. So tonight at 6:30 Eastern Standard Time on YouTube, we're going to have Ernie Hartman on. The purpose of having Ernie Hartman on is he wanted to come on and do a live Q&A show where we focus on pack audio or anything Amp Global for that matter. So steering wheel control interfaces, Amp Pros, radio replacement harnesses, little widgets like the TR12 and the TR4 and all those things that it takes behind the scenes to put these radios in that are sometimes a real pain in the butt to deal with. He wanted to come on and just have a show where you guys can ask questions of him because that's his job. He's tech support. He's head of tech support. And he wanted to have a show where you guys could just ask all your pack questions. And I was like, yeah, why not? We'll do it on a night that we don't normally do a live show, which is Tuesday. It's going to be on YouTube, so it's not going to be like anything that's going to take away from Wednesday, which is going to be your conclusion to the current Toyota video that's waiting in the wings. So part 2 will go up tomorrow. So this is just going to be an extra live event that we're going to have. It's just going to be Ernie and I. Fernando's got a dip. So I'll be the guy that just reads questions. And then Ernie will just sit there and ask them. So if you guys got questions that are related to Amp Global, pack, all those fun things, tonight's going to be the night. We're going to try to focus primarily on the pack stuff. You know, those are the things that kind of make it, some of that stuff can be hard, like steering wheel control interfaces and all that fun stuff.
Yeah.
This is all his idea, and I thought it was cool. Anytime that gives the ability for you guys to ask questions of somebody other than myself, I'm down for.
And there's been a lot of questions about, you know, I'm going to use an LC7i in here when you can use the Amp Pro, and we're done with it.
Yeah, that's true. Bobby. So that's the plan for tonight. So we hope you guys can at least check it out. If you don't have any questions, just stop by and, check it out, see what's going on.
Yeah.
What's up with us two? Well, we're working on a Toyota Tundra right now. We're doing a system in this. We're doing an Alpine restyle, radio on the dash, and some Focal integration, Toyota speakers, and a PDX V9.
Mm-hmm.
Power everything. And we're road killing the door. So right now, Fernando's sitting down the door to get ready for road kill. We already got the driver's door done, so I can sit here and start getting ready to put the amp in and all that fun stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, what we really want to do is talk about tonight, get you guys prepped, and think of your cool questions. If you've ever had an issue, or you have an issue currently with any one of your Pack products, or maybe you have a Metro product and you want to know if the Pack product would be better, that might be a great question to ask tonight too. So don't come in tonight and be like, hey man, ACBT24 yet? The Bluetooth dongle? Yeah, we've played with those.
Which one?
The ACBT24.
Yeah, the audio control?
Yeah, we got like 3 of them. We've been popping them out of everything. I need to plug it into an 810 so I can use the app, because I have a beta for the app that I need to try. So that ought to be interesting, because right now I'm not the super biggest fan of the BT24 for using it to do tuning and stuff like that, because it's kind of slow in my mind.
Okay, but remember the last time it worked, our iPads were dead, I think. I can't remember what happened. And we used it.
We just needed it fast.
Yeah.
We just needed something fast, because, the iTest mics were ticking me off.
Yeah.
What's up, Jason? Fro in the house. Hello from Vancouver. But, yeah, I mean, in a pinch it worked. I think it's going to be more useful once we get the app up and running. Right. And you can control, like, presets and volume and stuff like that, or subwoofer level control. And then whatever it is, they're going to add to that. I'm installing a Viper remote start with lots of sensors. Ooh.
Lots of sensors.
Dude, man, that's such a headache. My heart goes out to you.
Okay, how many alarms you used to install back in the day?
Back in the day, that would be a daily thing. I mean, like, you'd put an alarm in. Everyone got an alarm. I mean, cars didn't have keyless entry back then. So everything got an alarm and 2 door locks. I mean, that was just a normal thing. And I'm very thankful now that cars all have keyless entry. But whatever. But, you get the cars and they'd want every sensor that was made, and it was like, oh my God, this guy's going to become your new best friend. Because there's always going to be something going off. I mean, especially here with as much as thunder and lightning we get. Oh my gosh.
I can't wait to put the alarm in my car.
I can wait.
No.
I'm saying I can wait. Hey, from Palestine.
Like,
wow, what's going on there?
Armed.
Wipers armed?
Yeah, that's what they said.
Hello boys. Good to be in the most hated show, Carter. It's the most hated aspect ratio.
Yeah,
so it's this aspect ratio.
The show okay.
People love the show. It's the aspect ratio.
Yeah.
People hate it. Playing on a 2020 Silverado system would Pack, Amp Pro, and a 5-channel Kicker IQ be sufficient for integration? Well, see, that's a great question for tonight. But no, there is no 2020 integration for Silverado yet from anybody. So Amp Pro would be cool, but they don't actually make one yet, and neither does iData, and neither does Nav TV, and Metro doesn't have anything either. So for right now in a 2020, you got to cut the harness, unless you want to go with the harness we found out about last night. That's a $250 harness. Just the harness, $250. Like, I'm cool with spending money, don't get me wrong, but an Amp Pro is like $350 ish, somewhere around there, depending on which one you have to go with. But there's a brain there. The harness for $200, you smoking some crack, bro. But hey, whatever. If you don't want the harness cut and you're willing to pay $250, it's not my car, it's not my money. If you're willing to spend it, I'm down with it. I will get you whatever you want.
That's an option, man.
But yeah. No, and there again, I don't have to spend it. I'm going to say, hey, look, we can get this harness, and it's $250. That's entirely up to you. It's not my car, it's not my wallet. I'm not going to spend your money. I'm just going to tell you what's available, and we can go from there. 6 months from now, when everyone's making a $35 version of it, well, we might feel bad.
Hey, man.
But oh well, that's what we had then.
Guy that I was the first one.
Yeah. Hey, I have a Hyphonics 4,000 watt amp RMS and want to buy Orion 12-inch with 5,000 watts peak, 250 watts RMS. Will that work fine? Yeah, because I mean the amps. Well, okay, so it's a 4,000 watt Hyphonics amp. That means at best case it's going to be putting out 4,000 watts. If you get it to 14.4 volts. So reality is it might be a 3,500 or 3,200 watt amp.
Yeah.
So peak power is 5,000 watts. That's 2,500 watts of RMS. If they're really made to handle 2,500, then no, it won't be enough power. However, my guess is they're really not made to handle 2,500. They're probably really designed somewhere around, well, they might be, because I don't know which ones they are. They could have those giant magnets that just need an arc welder to get those things to go.
Yeah.
So my guess is you could probably get away with it, and then you'll probably want 2 at some point.
Yeah.
No reason to be sorry, Victor. It's okay. Have you ever worked on a Chevy HHR? Yes. And tried to put a sub in the stock location without the Pioneer upgraded system? No. I've worked on HHR, but no, I have not tried to put a Pioneer. I've not tried to put a sub in the factory spot. No, haven't done that. Hate the snow that's currently coming down outside, and my heart goes out to you there again. I hate snow as well. Unless I'm watching it on TV and or I'm on a plane and I get off and I go, oh, snow, and then I hop back on and I leave. You know, it's fun for about a day. So what's new? Really not much. Just trying to make it through, the week. It's Tuesday. Honestly, this is like Monday part 2. That's kind of how it feels. It feels like Monday part 2. Not going to lie. Would you agree?
Yeah. I know.
Yeah, because yesterday didn't go as planned, and it kind of sucked. But yeah, today's better as far as the appointments went and everything else. It's just today I had to catch up on a lot of other stuff. So
Yeah.
kind of sucked.
No, it still sucks.
Yeah. Hey, could you please test the X702 for clipping with the DD1 stereo only?
702.
Which one is the 702?
The Kenwood?
Yeah, I'm thinking. Yeah. Okay. Hola, guys. Hola.
Hola.
How do you feel about Exile Audio? I've never done anything with it. I haven't even seen it. So what are you working on? Working on a Toyota Tundra, an older Toyota Tundra. I like to use the term late model, but late model apparently means latest model. Go figure. I figure, I'm there again. Sometimes, although I work on cars, I'm not the biggest car guy. So this would be a older Toyota Tundra, the one that has the dash here that was either piano black or gray. We're putting a restyle in it. So basically it's getting like a Halo 309, but the full chassis radio version of it. So going to be kind of like yours. Which are better, coax or component speakers? Better is a relative term depending on what it is you actually need. So if you don't have a place for a tweeter, then obviously a really nice set of coaxials is going to be awesome. It kind of brings me back to when we did that Supra, that original Supra, where all he had was, he didn't want to pull the dash out of the car to replace the tweeters, which I was fine with because I wasn't pulling the dash out of the car to replace the tweeters. So what he wanted was a really high-end set of coaxials. So we went with the Morel, what are they called? The hybrids.
Oh no, you talk about the Mazda.
RX.
RSX.
The Mazda sports car, RX-7. Yeah. Okay. So anyways, yeah, you had to pull the dash out. He didn't want to do that. So we went with the hybrids? The Morel hybrids?
No, that was the Integras, I think.
Well, Integra hybrids, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we went with 2 sets of Morel Integra hybrids because he wanted a really expensive high-end set of coaxials.
Yeah.
So we went with 2 pairs of those, ran them off of a big amplifier. It sounded phenomenal, and it was actually impressive because we had a Kenwood deck in there, added a little time alignment, and it actually imaged really well.
Oh yeah, that was crazy.
Now, in this case, this is a Toyota Tundra, as we just talked about, and it has a place up here in the dash. Hold on, let me get it off me. For a tweeter, which is that guy right there, waiting to go in as soon as I get my wire for the the microphone ran. So I'm holding up Fernando. And then the 6x9 mid bass goes here. Now, if we were just to put a 6x9 coaxial here and not replace the tweeter, well then the soundstage would just be really low down here in the floor and sound like crap. If we put a coaxial here and then we put like a 2-inch up here, well, you would have sound everywhere, but it'd be just like a sound explosion. So you would have like a left singer and a right singer, and imaging is going to get kind of difficult. Not impossible, but kind of difficult. We ran into that situation yesterday where a gentleman drove over here with a Jeep Wrangler because we're apparently the Jeep Wrangler guys. He had gone to another place to have stuff installed. I think I talked about this yesterday, the crappy install.
So, yeah.
Anyways, they left the factory 2-inch speakers up in the dash, and his biggest complaint was it sounded real muddy. There was no definition to the music. It just sounded like crap. Well, in a Jeep Wrangler, the speakers actually sit like this. So the tweeters in those were aimed right at the floor, and then he had the sound bar up above his head, and that tweeter was aimed straight down. So he was essentially getting no high frequency whatsoever anywhere near his ears, because tweeters have a very narrow projection beam that comes out of them. The one above his head was aimed right towards the floor, and because he was a tall guy, it never had a chance. There was no left or right dispersion on the tweeter. And then up in the dash was just a high-frequency mid-range, but it wasn't a true high-frequency mid-range. It was just a mid-range, so it didn't have any treble or anything like that. So all we had to do to fix it was pull those out. We put the Kenwood new 3.5-inch, I'm going to say, coaxials that they make for their 6x9 component set. Put those up in the dash, got a tweeter up there with a high-frequency mid-range behind it, and then retuned everything from the factory deck, and holy God, it was like night and day difference, and the guy was like,
as soon as he opened the door, he's like, oh my God.
Yeah, he's like, oh my God, it already sounds better, not even sitting in the car.
Better.
And I was like, yeah, we just needed to get a tweeter up nice and high. So depending on the application is how you're going to want to address the situation. If there is a tweeter, go with a component set. Have you guys worked on any Honda Ridgeline pickup trucks? The brand new one? No, we haven't worked on the Ridgeline. We've worked on the Pilot, which is the same thing, just in the SUV version. So we're good. So if are you gonna get rid of your truck and get one of those? I mean, we just did your truck, man. Don't change yet.
Who is it?
Victor.
Oh.
Hey, when I cut my truck off, I hear an e-pop from my 15s. What is that? It's a turn-off pop. It's essentially what it is. So it could be a bunch of different things happening. Turn-off pop is usually when everything turns off at the same time. It's the amplifier doesn't have the circuit in it to shunt to ground is the easiest way to kind of explain that. Just, kind of like make it not feed back into it. There's a lot of things that happen when speakers move. They push power back into the amplifier, and the amplifier's inability to deal with that sometimes causes it. There's a lot of different things that can cause turn-on pop. It could be something that's just in the signal. When the signal shuts off, and then that causes pop. Sometimes it's just the build quality, the amplifier, Pioneer. And where you run into that, so there's a couple different things you can do. Adding a delay out of the remote turn-on sometimes will fix that. Sometimes better grounding can fix that. A lot of the times it comes down to delay, meaning having things turn off at different times so that the amplifier, it's a tough one though. Turn off pop. A lot of times what you do is you put a delay in there for like 30 seconds so you're out of the car when it turns off. Honestly, that's usually the best fix for it. It's not going to hurt anything. It's kind of normal. It's just annoying. And sometimes it makes people wet their pants because it's like, oh my God, what was that? Yay, Kenwood. Kenwood Exelon X702. Sorry for being specific. No, that's okay. I mean, the problem is and we want to test all those radios. The problem is like right now we know all those radios are going to change in like 2 months. So,
I mean, it's Kenwood. It barely clips.
Well, put it this way. If we look at every other Kenwood we've ever tested, they don't clip at all. No. So on the RCA section on a Kenwood, you should be able to turn the whole thing all the way up and never have it clip. The subwoofer typically at 0 dB will clip at +2. It's either +2 or +3. But the output section on it should never go into clip at all at 0 dB. Yes, it was the RX-7. Thank you.
Hey.
Get 2 HCCA 12s, Orion 2500 watts RMS for 4,000 watts. Okay. Snow equals money for me. Okay.
Oh yeah. I mean, remote.
Well, that was Bobby. Oh, by the way, have you got to play with any Jeep Gladiators yet? No. And that's funny. So it's really weird here. So some cars do exceptionally well. Like I've seen a lot of Gladiators driving around, and I've saw the JLs driving around, but I don't know who's driving them. So we have an older population here in Florida, to say the least.
Oh, wow.
And a lot of the times the vehicles, I don't know, it's weird. Like sometimes we'll get vehicles right away, like the Camaro. I have a Camaro, and honestly, like, we didn't start doing Camaros until like 2 or 3 years old. It was just like people weren't bringing them in to do. That's not to say they weren't doing them. We just weren't seeing them. Now we see them all the time. You know, the new Mustangs, we see more of those than we have. So it's weird. It's just these people are funny when it comes to some of these cars. Please put pictures of the job in the IG. I like to see the end result. What is on Instagram? Oh, I don't know if we have pictures. That'd be Fernando. He takes all the pictures.
On what?
On the Pilot. Yeah, I don't know if we have any pictures. Sometimes they're just not picture worthy, man. No, not there yet. Okay. No, not 3 years. Let's worry about it in 3 years then. Jeez, in 3 years it's gonna be a whole nother system in that car. Do you have to have an amp with a subsonic filter when using a ported box? It's a wonderful idea to have an amplifier with a subsonic filter. Okay, so what some manufacturers are doing right now, for those who don't know what a subsonic filter is, it's a high pass crossover that's put onto the output of the subside. So it's basically a bandpass filter. We talk about a bandpass filter on the mid-range, where you have a top for the mid-range and you have a bottom for the mid-range. I mean, how high can it play up and how low can it play down? Subsonic filter is just a really cool way of saying high-pass crossover for subwoofer, because if you ever use the term high-pass crossover for subwoofer, people are going to look like you're smoking crack, because there's no reason in whatsoever you'd want to put a high-pass filter on a subwoofer. Ooh, God, no. But the reality of it is you do want to put a high-pass filter on a subwoofer, because there are certain frequencies a subwoofer just can't create. Like if the amplifier is capable of producing sounds down to 5 hertz, but the music you listen to clearly doesn't have 5 hertz, well, that doesn't mean it's not going to try to do that. And the lower the frequencies like that are harder for the amplifiers to produce. Ported boxes, for some reason, they always, well, there is a reason behind it, but ported boxes, specifically, they like to use subsonic filters. Now, what to control the output of the driver. Anyways, most some of the better amplifier manufacturers now have just given up on the fact that someone is going to turn on a subsonic filter. They go, I don't know what it is, I'm not going to turn it on. And they just build the subsonic filter into it already. So you can check the specifications. Sometimes they'll tell you that it has it. Other times they won't. You'd have to see it on an RTA. I can tell you right now, like the Yellow Line kicker amplifiers all have a subsonic filter built into them, so that it's there, and it allows the power supply of the amplifier to be more efficient and suck less energy, because if you're not trying to produce 20 hertz that you're never going to hear anyways, the amplifier will run better. Now keep in mind, it's just a crossover, which means it's not a wall, meaning it's not like it's not going to produce those lower sounds. It's just ramping them down so that the power supply in the amplifier isn't trying to put out full power at 20 hertz. Okay. Would it be good to add coaxial speakers and add a separate tweeter with crossover? I have a 2000 Civic with a mid-bass in the footwell and a tweeter up high in the pillar. Okay, so depends what you're trying to do. That's a great question, and I often reference that back to when we talk about one of the speakers Rockford used to produce in the Punchline was a speaker that came with 2 tweeters. So the idea behind it was you have a 6.5 and you have 2 tweeters. The 6.5 could be put together as a coaxial with both tweeters in the center. It could be put together as a coaxial with 1 tweeter in the center, and the second tweeter could go up in the dash into the factory location. Or you could put the mid-bass down low and then use tweeters, like 1 tweeter on the door and 1 tweeter up on the dash. You could do whatever you wanted, any configuration. Now, fast forward to today, where everyone is worried about imaging. Imaging, really, having a tweeter down low and a tweeter up top is pulls that imaging around and does some funny stuff. So if you're worried about imaging, doing a tweeter like a coaxial and a tweeter up top, not the greatest idea. If you're just worried about making something loud and crisp and bright, great idea, because it's going to do it. It's going to give you 4 tweeters instead of 2. And if you have something like a big subwoofer enclosure in the back, pounding away, and you just need volume out of your front stage, then yes, adding that second tweeter to the mix, so you have 4 tweeters, all day long, buddy, all day long. Okay, LOL, just bought it in August. Don't remember. Okay, Oh, okay, yeah. So, I mean, the 701 and the 702 is the same thing, so I think, yeah, they are. They're good. I've seen a few of those Gladiators, not a fan. They look weird in my opinion. Oh, they definitely look weird. And Haley and I were actually talking about the Gladiator this weekend because, as you know, I want a convertible in the worst way. And as soon as I hit my midlife crisis point, which Victor's already there, haha.
I was thinking about the movie.
Of course, I want a Russell Crowe. Anyways, you know, it's a pickup truck that can be a convertible, and I'm like, I get it, and it's kind of cool.
It is cool.
Dodge has done that before, and it was neat. And I don't know. I feel like it's a really expensive truck that you can turn into a convertible and still get all your crap stolen out of, and get everything wet. Which I'm way too. My mind would never let that happen. That's why I don't own a Jeep. Plus, they're so loud.
I love Jeeps.
Hey, can I ask a quick question? Can you use the Rockford DSR1 as a standalone DSP with Rockford 5-gate amps? By all means, yes, you can. The DSR1 has 4 inputs, so you can designate those inputs to be anything you want. As far as you can have it as front and rear. You can have it front and sub. Any way you want to do it. It has 4 inputs, so anyone when you use those 4 inputs you can. It's in the input setup. Also, what makes the DSR1 so unique is that it's one of the only DSPs currently available, keyword currently available, that allows you to do 3 different things with it. You can hook it up as an AR, which is why it's called a DSR1, or you can hook it up high level, or you can hook it up low level. So the cool thing about it is let's say you put it in a car, you're using the factory Sony system or the factory JBL system, and you decide to replace that radio, no big deal. You pull it out, you reprogram it. Definitely go check out the video we just did like last week on how to flash the DSR1. In that video, we do talk about flashing it as a standalone module so that you know how to do that there. And in that, we also have a link to 2 other videos we've done on the DSR1. Definitely you want to go back and watch those because we walk you through the whole setup process and take you down the road of all the things you can do with the DSR1. So yes, it makes a wonderful standalone DSP for a great price. You guys are the best, by the way. Oh, thank you. No, not the pilot on the. Well, yeah, okay, Tundra. Yep. Gotta know, guy. Gotta run. All right, we'll see you. Wish we had your weather. No, you don't, because then every old person in the world would live where you're at. Here, they get to come down and live with us. It's so much more fun. I'm a heavy equipment operator by a local. Oh, there you go. See, then snow is your thing, Bobby, for sure. I have a 2018 Toyota RAV4, and the rear speakers on the rear doors, the volume are really low. If I upgrade speakers, will that fix? No. Or is that more coming from the factory radio? I'll tell you right now, 90% of the problems and that's a made up number, most of the problems that come from Toyotas, it's the source unit. The source unit is crap. If you fade it to the rear and it's low, it's not the speaker's fault. The speaker's just doing its job, which is playing at whatever ohm load the speaker was made at and putting out as much power as it can with the amplification that was given to it. My guess is it's probably a 2 ohm speaker, and it's just doing whatever it is they decided it was supposed to do. RAV4, really nothing special as far as anything we've ever ran into. But if I was to guess, it's just a product of that crappy radio. If you want them louder, you could always add a small amplifier, a small little brick amp, like an Alpine brick amp or something like that to it that would fix that issue. And the reason why I recommend the Alpine. Any one of the Alpine brick amps is they have gain controls, unlike the Pioneer. The Pioneer does not, so that kind of sucks.
You can put the 650 with the pack, with the amplifier.
Oh, an ILX W650?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and you mount the amplifier in the back, awesome.
And definitely if you're going to do that, it's a Toyota. You probably want RR integration. I mean, you could still use an RR, you're just not going to get... Well, yeah, no, you're probably good. So you can still use W650, and just, you don't need tire pressures and all that crap. So, yeah, RR for sure. Because RRs, as we know, can all be standalone interfaces. Hello from Frostbite.
What's up?
Oh, hello Frostbite. So they must be on. Thanks, Bobby. Thanks for keeping us intact. Sub acts like it doesn't have a box below porting frequency. Not a good thing. Sub acts like it does not have a box below reporting frequency not a good thing. No, and I think that might be talking about the subsonic filter. Definitely want a subsonic filter. Bobby has a question. The 210 Fox box is a 12 ported with adapter rings to make it a 10. Most of the time, the Fox box for 210s comes cut for 210s. It does not come cut for 212s. That's everything we've always ran into on it. When we order a 210s box, it comes with 2 holes that are cut for 10s with no adapter rings. Okay, yes, I did over the summer, and having 4 coax and a set of tweeters and the pillar, and gee, too bright and wasn't looking for loud and bright. Exactly. So when you do this, that's a 6 tweeter combo. It's definitely gonna be loud and bright as could be. My midlife crisis is more car audio. I can understand that. Honestly, yeah. I mean, I get it. I was kidding when I said the midlife crisis car thing, but
What?
the midlife crisis car thing. I mean, it's just, I don't know. Honestly, I just don't want a car payment. I feel your pain. Okay. Oh, Walt. Hey, what's up, buddy? I think your package is going out today. If I were sitting in your car, Professor, and smash play, what is the last song you both have listened to in your personal vehicle? Ooh, that's a great question. So what were you listening to this morning on the way to work?
Me?
Yeah.
I was listening to radio.
Talk radio or just like radio?
No, just regular radio.
So what you were listening to a Latino station or?
Yeah. 92.5
So you're
here
doing
in Tampa Bay.
Yeah, you were doing what Latino song were you listening to?
Yeah. They were talking about some contest that they do.
Oh, so they were just chatting it up.
Yeah, they just chatting.
All right, so to make Fernando's story a little bit more interesting, last night we went to a friend of ours, Aaron, that is opening a new motorcycle audio shop here in town called Havoc, and we stopped by to give him some love and of course get some free cold pizza, which is yummy. And he was listening to, he's got this cool motorcycle display set up.
Yeah.
And so Fernando was like, hey man, what was that Pink song? What was that Pink Floyd song they were playing last night? So literally like right before we went on, he was doing an internet search trying to figure out, he typed in Pink Floyd in here, because I'm going, what were some of the lyrics? He knew one word, here. And it was Pink Floyd, Wish You Were Here.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, there's no way. And he goes, well, I knew one word, it was here. And so he Googled Pink Floyd in here, and I was like, you're the luckiest little shit on the face of the earth, because I would have never got that.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Yeah.
so what I was listening to this morning, you'd never guess in a million years, but I was
Spanish
listening.
music?
No, actually, I was listening to Sir Mix-a-Lot. I don't know. Last night I woke up and that was playing in my head, and I was like, "Huh, I haven't heard that in a while." So this morning I got up and I went in the car and I was pulling out of the garage and I was like, what was that music I wanted to hear last night when I woke up? And I go, oh, it was Sir Mix-a-Lot. So I said, hey Siri, play Sir Mix-a-Lot. And so she started playing Sir Mix-a-Lot. And so the song that was on right when I turned my car off was Posse on Broadway. But I was listening to a song before that where he was like talking about all the cities. It starts out where he's talking about like Dallas. And it's going to that song that goes, dun, 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 you know, with the Indians and crap. Anyways, Go Tonto, get on it. That song. Anyways, yeah. So it was a remix of that. But Posse on Broadway was the last thing I was listening to this morning. All right, that was a really long stretch. I'm sorry, guys. Okay, cool. Thanks for the advice. Yeah, I have a Pioneer GMD series amplifier, no subsonic. Guess I have to go seal box. No, you really don't have to go seal box. And that amplifier might actually have a subsonic filter in it. I wonder, okay, so here's a thought. No, that probably wouldn't work. I was going to say, you could probably put like a test tone on there and play like, do like a sine wave sweep and test the voltage output of the amplifier and see if it starts to drop off in like, when you get to like, so like, start at like 40 hertz and then just kind of go down and see what the output voltage is. And as you go down in the sine wave, if the voltage like 30 hertz is less than it was at 40, and then it's less at 25 and it's progressively going down, my guess is that amplifier is going to have a subsonic filter built into it that's actively doing that for you. So it's probably a test you can do. That's just off the top of my head. I don't know if that'll actually work, but thinking of it in my head, that should work. Let's see a 2015 Super Duty with my Ford Touch sync and Navi head unit upgrade. Yeah, I'd like to see that. We just got to get one in, and we do an MTF1 kit in it, because the 2015. What year was? Just go back and watch the F-150 has the same basic dash as the F-250. And we put the MTF1 kit in it, and he had the 8-inch touchscreen in that. So go watch that one. That'll show you what it is. If I do a big 3, will that help my lights from dimming, or should I get a new alternator? It's not going to increase your power. It's just going to reduce the amount of resistance between things. So if there's minimal amounts of power being lost between because wires are thin, that's going to allow those to go through. So it's basically just changing the pipe size. So, for example, if you're sucking water through a straw, or passing water through a straw and you make it a hose, obviously you can get more water through. Now, if there's no more water to be had, it's not going to make any difference. But yes, by increasing the size of the wire, it's going to pass current better. It's definitely worth doing. However, if there's no more current to be had, it's not going to change anything.
Right.
Did that make sense? Kind of?
Kind of.
I mean, you know, if it's given it, if she's giving it all she's got, Captain, and you're not getting any, you know, changing the size of the pipes isn't going to change much. Definitely recommend doing it though, because it'll lead to the next step, which is buying a bigger alternator, right, or adding more batteries. And you can always plug them in.
Yeah.
Remember, you can plug batteries in and charge them. Good to see Fernando using gloves, right? No cuts today, right?
No, I already have cuts over here. You know, because, okay.
Yeah, because you reach in.
The part about this Toyota is the bottom part, it's so tight.
Yeah.
So that's it. That's my hand right there.
Yeah.
Right here. So it's like to put roadkill in this bottom part.
You got to cut yourself.
You got to cut yourself, see?
Yeah, good to see you being safe, though.
Right.
Aaron's new shop. Yep, Aaron's new shop.
Aaron's new shop. Who say that?
John, Dub14.
Oh, yeah.
What's up, guys? What's up with you? Thanks. Baby Got Back. There you go. Love Baby Got Back. Actually, Baby Got Back was the first song that came up, and I tracked up because I didn't want to hear it. Jump on it. That's it. Jump on it. Thank you. Yep. Apache. Yep. So Sir Mix-a-Lot does a remix of that song where he's like, Dallas, jump on it.
Oh,
Houston.
Yeah.
And he actually does Tampa Bay. Because he goes like, he goes Orlando, Miami, and Tampa. And then he sings a couple verses. I don't know why I listened to it, because it really sucked, but it was just kind of like, I was into it. I was like, this is kind of dumb, but okay.
I can imagine you driving and like, yeah, baby.
Any news on Pioneer 2020 radios? Actually, they've just released a couple of their cheaper radios, so Pioneer does some weird stuff. In November, they released some of the cheaper radios that they are coming out with. So they just released a handful of the new 2020 inexpensive radios. And when I say cheap, I'm not talking like the AVIC stuff or the NEX with the CarPlay and stuff like that. Those they're probably going to hold till later or next year. Wait for CES. This is going to be a weird year for Pioneer, because this is like the first year they're owned by the new Chinese company. And
Japanese.
No, they're Chinese companies. They're not Japanese anymore. They're Chinese. Pioneer straight up a Chinese company.
That's what I said.
Yeah, I know, bro. So it's going to be weird to see what happens. Now, keep in mind, everything for 2020 was already in the pipeline. So, because, you know, they have a 3-year product development cycle. So everything that was being developed this year was actually, or coming out for 2020, was developed all year long. That's not to say that they didn't scrap things or change things. I think 2021 will be the first year we're going to see some different stuff from them that might be a different, newer Pioneer. Good or bad, I don't know. But we'll have to wait and see. Alright. Nope, different dash. Okay. I have audio control LC7i, but I got... hold on. but it's like the white letters and the white sign just kind of go right in the right area. I have audio control LC7i, but I not get full bass from it. Why? High, low, get more bass from it. Okay, so I kind of get what you're saying there. A high to low level adapter is not going to create sound where sound doesn't exist. The high level to low level adapter's job is to take a high amount of voltage that's coming into it and reduce it down to a passable low level signal that then your amplifiers can accept. Now, garbage in, garbage out, though the phrase is used in many different ways, is a perfect example of what a high level to low level is typically doing. When you see us show you how to test for a signal and we grab that expensive RTA, which I can't wait till next year, we are using that to see what the signal looks like that we're going to then amplify. If you're trying to amplify a signal for subwoofer and there is no bass, you're not going to get bass, because if the signal doesn't have it, it can't pass it. A high level to low level is not an EQ, it's not creating sound. So the LC7i is an amazing product that will take signal in and pass it without coloring it, without damaging it, just reducing its output volume and doing an exceptional job for it. However, if you're passing in a signal that has no bass, you're still going to get nothing on the outside. The idea is for the subwoofer, make sure you use the input that has the most amount of bass. So, and a lot of the times the front door speakers are where all the sub sounds are coming from. Those are going to be what you're going to want to use. Now, the way the LC7i is hooked up, it's a bit antiquated. Totally understand that. It's an old piece. And the channels 3 and 4 on it are what feed the subwoofer. So if your front 2 channels are what are giving you most of your bass, it's a simple enough fix. You unplug the main, which is front, and plug it into 3 and 4, and you unplug 3 and 4 and you put them into the main. And then you flip your RCAs so that the main output is now rear and your 3 and 4 output is now front, and then your subs are going to be fed off of that, and then you'll get your bass. That's the easiest workaround if your front channels are putting out more. Now, if you're like, blew my mind, well, you could also just run jumpers out of channels main into channels 5 and 6, but then you have to pull the top off and shut off the jumpers from 3 and 4. Easy solution is the other way around. Hey, it's a hack. We definitely have to include that in the video. Hi guys, where can I get aftermarket harnesses for my Hyundai? Ooh, Infinity stock system, or Infinity. Check to see what Metra has. I think Metra has, so MetraOnline.com might be the place you want to check for that, because I know they have some new Hyundai stuff they just came out with, but they might make a 70 series harness and a 71 series harness. So if they don't make a T harness, go into the regular radio harnesses and see if they make a 70 model and a 71 model. 70 is what plugs into the factory harness. 71 was what plugs into the radio's harness. Now, if they just have a 70 and a 71 model, typically the 71 model will have all the wires pinned, but the 70 won't. So a lot of the times you have to buy two 70s so that you can pin all the holes. Fun, right? All right. Woo, this has been a lot of fun. All right, so what's happening tonight? 6:30 Eastern Standard Time. On YouTube, We're having Ernie Hartman. We're going to do our PAC Q&A. So if you have any questions about PAC audio, steering wheel control interfaces, radio replacement, amplifier replacements, widgets that they make like a TR12, a TR4, Bluetooth, any of the fun stuff that they make tonight at 6:30 on YouTube, Ernie Hartman, head of tech support, will be here. And he's got a really long title that basically means he's the guy in charge of tech support. It's going to be on tonight, and we're going to be taking questions on PAC. So tonight will not be the night to ask what speakers we like the best. Save that for Saturday when you can ask us that question. But if you have a PAC question tonight, anything Amp Global related, like anything that is a widget that needs to do something and it's just like not making sense to you, tonight is the night to ask. You're going to have the guy that when you... Can you help me? Yes, that's the guy. That's the guy on the other end. He's the one to ask. It's his idea. He wanted to do a show where he's like, can we just do a PAC show? And I was like, yeah, we can do a PAC show. It's going to be me playing the role of I'm just going to read questions and he's going to answer them. Fernando couldn't make it tonight. So it's just going to be the two of us. We're going to be just having a great time, talking a bunch of stuff. If you're an installer, you definitely want to check it out. if you are thinking of doing an upgrade and you're going to need one of these harnesses, you definitely want to check it out. It's going to be a lot of fun. Yeah. 6:30 Eastern Standard Time on the YouTubes. Don't worry, it's not going to take the place of any show. This is a straight up bonus show we're doing. Tomorrow, Wednesday, you're still going to get your cool installer diary. So have no fear about that. So definitely want to stop in, say hi. And I got to get back to work. So you guys get back to work too. Thanks for tuning in. Have a wonderful day. We'll see you guys tonight. Bye. See, now would be a good time to show that box.
What box?
That box sitting over there. Okay. Oh, you know what I saw the other day? I don't remember what channel it was. They were having like movie previews that are coming out, and they were playing the one with, Brad Pitt, Morgan Freeman. What's in the box? And I said to Sue, I said, hey, do you know what's in the box? She's like, no. I'm like, you've never seen that? She's like, no. I was like, it's his wife's head. What's up, everyone? How's it going? I know what you're thinking. No, I actually don't have any idea what you're thinking. But it's late in the day here on Wednesday. We've finished up all our chores. So Mom said we could come out and play on the internet.
Cool.
I don't know. So, yeah, last night, if you guys didn't catch it, we did on YouTube. We had Ernie and one of his phone answers. I'm sorry, I totally forgot his name. I feel terrible about that. Do you remember his name?
That was Jimmy?
I don't know. They kept just calling him the guy that
ate Fernando.
That ate Fernando.
That was awesome.
That was pretty funny. But anyways, if you didn't check it out, peruse it, give it a once over. Let us know what you think in the comments, of course. If that's something you guys thought was interesting, where we bring in company people and instead of interviewing them and talking to them, we just let them answer question and answers about their products. I thought it was a pretty cool idea. I'm going to give total credit to Ernie. It was all his thought behind it. He asked if he could do it, and I was like, yeah. I mean, I'm sure it'll be enough for a show. And it was. You guys asked some really great questions, and I feel like he gave some really good answers, and also he opened up the door for a lot of people to get help, which that almost sounded like a PSA. And it also opened the doors for a lot of people to get the help that they need to make it through the day. Anyways, you get what I'm saying. It was kind of Marty.
Yeah, what's up, Bobby?
Marty did the best one I was talking. Marty Dean, AussieIrons.us.
Sounds
Plus with a Z. We were talking the other day when he was working on the car with Mark, and he was asking me some questions, and he was playing Sarah McLachlan. He goes, oh, here it is, the Sarah McLachlan curse for just pennies a day, YouTube. And he did the voice perfect. It was great. Oh man, it was wonderful. He's a really good guy.
All right, so should the rear plug and the rear ring for the fast ring touch? It's a lot of rings.
Oh, okay. So I get what you're saying. So,
or should there be
a gap
between? All right, so
you got a plug.
So
that's the plug
right there.
And so we can pretend like from the side that this is because they're both the same thickness.
Yeah.
So should they touch? Well, I mean, they're gonna breathe. I don't really. I would probably try to have a gap.
I always have a gap. I always have like this much of gap. So like a 1 inch. It's just
personal preference.
Personal preference.
Now, would you cut? I would cut it off of that before I cut it off of this.
Yes.
I would make that shorter before I made anything else. Are Eclipse head units any good? Back in the day, and I mean really back in the day, they were definitely something that a lot of people really got behind. Eclipse is basically Fujitsu. They rebranded themselves as Eclipse, and they took off, and everyone loved them. And then several years back, they weren't making any money, and they were like, hey, we got to get out of this business. Hey, Haley, what's going on?
Hey, Haley.
Yeah. She is at school right now putting together all the boxes that all the donations that she got for the... Yes, for that... The women...
Yes.
Yeah, the women thing. Pregnant women. So, yeah, that worked out really well. Thanks, everyone, for doing that. How many of you guys are doing Disney Plus? We were just talking about that because I'm kind of like, I don't want to watch one episode of The Mandalorian. I want to watch all the episodes of The Mandalorian. I know you guys use Stinger, but I have access to Dynamat sound dampening. Isn't it good? Yeah, Dynamat's great. Dynamat's the original. Mm-hmm. Listen, man, it's like this. I used to work for Procter & Gamble, and Procter & Gamble sells Puffs facial tissues. However, when you ask for a facial tissue, you don't. You say, hey, anybody got any Kleenex? Kleenex is a brand, okay? And that would drive Procter & Gamble absolutely crazy because they didn't get, just like Google. Did you Google it? Okay. Dynamat is the first. They're the guys. It took us a long time to train ourselves to call it roadkill because we've sold Dynamat, and so we would always have to say roadkill because we use roadkill. We stand behind their products. Yep. We like them. We know them. We trust it. It's the product, but the name that everyone associates with sound dampening is, or
sound
treatment is that, Dynamat. Mm-hmm. And those guys are really cool, actually. They're kind of funny because they're like, oh, yeah, talk about guys that made the coolest business model back in the day. Mm-hmm. They did, because there's no returns. Yep. What are you going to do, peel it off and send it back? No. Okay. The Mandalorian is very good. Excellent. I know everyone's saying it's awesome, but I don't want to watch one episode. I'm the guy that when Game of Thrones came out, I waited until the last week, paid my $10 to have HBO Go, watched all the episodes, was pissed, and then canceled my subscription. Yeah. So I could watch them all for $10.
Yeah.
What coaxials would you install if you don't? All right, wait a minute. What coaxials would you install if you don't going to install a woofer? I would go with the Kenwood Exelon 7-inch. We call them the mid-bass monsters. They make two versions of them, of the 7-inch coaxials. One is one is the higher end, one is the lower end. If you're just going to be using deck power, go with the lower end version. Or cheaper version, whatever that is. If you're going to be using an amplifier, go with the higher end version, which I think is like a WR or whatever it is. But those are going to give you the most amount of mid bass in a round speaker.
Okay.
Would you agree?
Yeah. And
unless you got a 6x9, in which case just pick up a set of 6x9s, and if that's the case, then pick up the Kenwood Exelon 6x9 components. Yeah. Because those kick butt too.
How much for 4-door Dodge Ram?
How much? What you want? It's only $7. I know. Don't worry, we're getting it. Haley, trust me. Last night at Disney Plus, Haley brought up the topic at dinner. I'm like, just figure it out. And Sue's like, I just pay the bills around here. So I'm sure by the end of the week, Haley will have it up and running and be all kind. EQing and crossover setting video. How to and why video. We've been talking about that for years now, as far as like crossovers and stuff like that. And I wanted to bring in an expert to help talk more deeper into it and get really, which would be Jeff, and get really into the nuts and bolts of why things need to be the way they do, because simply just talking about crossovers, like take your FS for your tweeter, multiply it by 2, multiply it by 4, cross it over at 24, but it's one of those egghead conversations that people want cookie cutter. They want to just be like, okay, I have this speaker, cross it over at this point, and it's not that simple. It's very, it would be long. Like, it's like, okay, how do I set up my crossover for my tweeter would be one video, and then how do I set up my crossover for a mid-range would be another video. So because there's a lot of little tiny nuances that go into that, and that would be the video I'd want to film. And getting all the pieces to line up would be something that would be tough.
Bobby, I believe it's gonna be like 3 sheets per door.
Yeah,
like 3 sheets.
Oh, that was the question when you were... Oh, okay. 3 sheets per door. Yeah.
For 4 doors.
Is that including the door panel?
No,
4 sheets?
Okay, so let's go for 4 sheets.
4 sheets?
So you can actually...
So probably 1.5, or 2, 1, and then 1 on the door panel itself.
And 1 on the door panel. I think it's like a half.
Well, it depends on the year, too, though, because if it's the one with the plastic that you really can't get it all apart, it's not going to take that much roadkill.
Right.
So... if it's the full plastic insert, unless you're pulling the window out and pulling the whole motor assembly out, It's really
I don't
hard
know
to get
what
in there
year
with
is that,
Dynamat.
Bobby. Yeah.
Since no pack Amp Pro for 2020 Silverado F-150, would you recommend? Okay, so a lot of things have changed in the past 24 hours as far as what we've learned about the 2020 Silverados.
Yeah.
If you have the Bose system in your 2020 Silverado and you have what is called the IO8 or the IoT, it might be. Either way, Nav TV has just come out with their interface for those models. It's $350 retail.
Mm-hmm.
It's the Zen, so it's reasonably priced. You can go to
but it's
Nav.
not that.
What?
Not that crazy.
No, it's not. It's normal now
Yeah.
because it's not $850 like it
Right, that's
like
what I'm
those.
saying.
So it's
When-
$350 is
yeah.
right in line with what it needs to be. So if you have the Bose system, head over to navtv.com. And then you can check it out there. They give you what you need to look for to make sure it will work on your car.
Mm-hmm.
You can scan the IR code and check to make sure that it is. If it's still it's a 2020, so that is definitely going to be the new plug system.
Yeah.
But that would be what you'd want to use.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know, right? Go figure. Thanks, Ernie, for clearing that up for me last night. Recommended me a subwoofer with a box for sound quality system Lexus RX 350. So a lot of people will say sound quality is going to be a sealed box because it's going to give you the biggest frequency response, or the biggest, I mean the widest amount of frequency response. If that's the case, you want a sealed box, you want an awesome looking sealed box, frostbitebox.com. Pick up a box from there. They're also a kicker dealer, so you can pick up like one of the kicker Qs or kicker R or comp R, comp Q.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Or you can get into something like, I mean, it just depends on your budget.
Yeah.
I would start there and see where you kind of go from there if that scares you.
Well, I
God,
mean,
keep
when we
putting my
talk
hand in
about
front of
sound quality, it's just like...
Well, I mean, the more expensive you buy, the better it's going to sound.
Correct.
That's really what it comes to.
Yeah.
All
Alright, so that's full plastic on the Dodge Ram 2010.
Okay, so if that's full plastic, then, if you're not going to pull the full plastic off, then
Right,
you
because it's
probably
hard.
get away with like a
Two
sheet,
sheets.
2 sheets, maybe a sheet and two and a half sheets, maybe.
Yeah,
Because I mean, you still have the whole door panel
Yeah,
itself, which is
yeah.
going to take a full sheet,
Mhm.
but you could probably get away with a sheet and a half
Yeah.
on the actual door itself.
Mm-hmm.
Would you agree?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
there you go. Perfect. Oh, hey, it's Ant-Man Nose Audio.
What's
Check him
up?
out. 2010 Dodge Ram. Yep, plastic. You said that. My bad. Full plastic.
My KS 6x9s are killing it. Vibrating and everything. Yeah.
Yeah, well, so definitely. True facts. What do you think about Sundown Audio for subs? If you're into SPL, they do not disappoint. I mean, we've done, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 over the years, different Sundown systems.
Mhm.
The latest was that Civic we did.
Mhm.
Ah, dude, brutal.
Yeah.
You know, so they have a certain calling, and they do
Mhm.
really well at it.
Yeah.
You know, the nice thing is right now in that market space, that's starting to get really congested. Like when you go over to Down for Sound and you check out all those, there is some crazy woofers out there, but they're
Oh
also
my God, yeah.
ridiculous. They're starting to get ridiculous price points, which is funny.
Oh, yeah.
But there's so many, I don't know, man. That's a tough one. But I'm sure Sundown is still killing it. I mean, they were the OG, so I'm gonna go yeah. But God, wow, yeah. Some of those, I just want to own them because they look so cool. Like the ones that have like the pillar style magnets.
Yeah.
Oh, those look so neat.
Incriminator's brand.
Yeah, and then there's a couple of them. There's that one company that on Instagram that always puts up the one that just has like a 4-inch freaking surround on it, and you know that company.
Oh, yes,
that
they-
no one has ever actually had one of those woofers. You know, you can't buy them,
No.
and it's like, because I was like $500, $600, $700, $800. Yeah, that
Yeah.
might be worth it. I'll pick one of those up just because it looked cool as shit.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay.
But whatever.
Yeah.
Want to replace head unit 2015 Sierra. What is the best model to retain all features? Well, so retaining all features is going to mean you're going to want iData, because iData RR is going to give you all the feature retention that you could possibly have.
Mhm.
If you're looking for a radio that works best with iData, it's Kenwood or JVC. Those two have the contracts with. They get everything first. Is really what it comes down to. Pioneer will work with RR. Sony's will work. A couple Sonys will work with RR. But Kenwood and JVC get the most control out of the RR. So I would look into a Kenwood or a JVC to go in there. If you want a big screen, it's a 2015. There aren't a ton of extra features that it has.
No.
I mean, if you want a big screen, you can go with a Elevate, but you're not going to get like gauges and stuff like that from the RR. It just depends. I mean, like an RP4 will give you everything you need. It's not like you're going to lose anything. You're just going to lose the control. So like an RP4 an access piece.
Mm-hmm.
When you set things up in the radio that are in the car, so like how your door locks, your, so like 2-button unlock or courtesy lights, how long they stay on. We set all that stuff up in the radio. Once you pull the radio out, those features go away. The RR gives you the ability to still have access to them. If you think you're going to want it, then you'd want an RR. If you don't think you're going to want it, well, then you can go with anything you want.
Yeah.
Personally, a big fan of the RR. I mean, I like them both. I mean, we put in way more RP4s than anything because most people just don't care. But, whatever. No.
From snowy Iowa. Yeah.
Dude, it's actually kind of chilly out right now. I was outside putting some speakers in a Toyota, and I was like, damn, I almost need like a hoodie. I have not seen The Mandalorian yet. I was saying earlier, I'm kind of bummed because
it's only
one episode up right now. You're going to have to wait every week?
Yeah.
Ugh, I ain't got time for that.
Oh, it's a regular series?
Yeah, they're going to do it old school style. Incriminator, I have, like you were saying, we mentioned it, we haven't really had any of that stuff come through here, so I wouldn't know. It's 23 up here.
Woo!
Well, it's like 70 something, maybe 68 here. Yeah, you're gonna give it weather check from Fernando.
It's 66 and cloudy.
Ooh, 66 and cloudy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Ooh, tonight's run is gonna be fun.
Okay.
Maybe it'll freeze my toe.
They said it was gonna be cold today.
Yeah, they did say it was gonna be cold today, but it's probably gonna be hot tomorrow. All right, sorry about that. We're back. Huh? No, she killed the recording on the video, so I had to get back. So as I was saying, we went to Aaron's over the... What are you doing?
I'm sorry.
I was going to say, what are you doing? We went to Aaron's, and someone had brought him a gift of these guys right here. These are some original King series cables. These are back from 1988, I think is what the box says. These were the premium cables from back in the day. He let me borrow it. He gets these back. They're not for me. But he said I can take them and I can open them up and I can show you guys. This is what we were dealing with back in 88. This was the King. So this was as good as it got. Open the box, man. And these are 20-footers. Now the funny thing is as the end of life of these, they were just giving these things away.
Really?
Oh yeah. So you just got the cable and they didn't care. Because they were, for one thing, they were 20-footers. So what are you going to do with a 20-foot cable? They're dual mono cables. So in the box, you got a left and a right and a Ziploc bag. Now, these have been sitting in somebody's closet for the last 30 years.
Wow, that's pretty cool, man.
Yeah. So grab a piece of 4-gauge. Grab a piece of 4-gauge that you got right there. But look at these colors, man. They're so goofy. But that's what it was back in the 80s.
All right, 4-gauge.
I was going to say, got some 4-gauge. So this is some Stinger 4-gauge here.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and here we go. So here, this is what the King cable was. It's the same size as a piece of 4-gauge. How awesome is that?
Yep.
And then you got these. These are teal. Oh my gosh! Look at how goofy these are. Oh, they're gonna unscrew. Go ahead and unscrew that. Let's take a look and see what they got us as far as in the end. Now, these were premium, man. These things were stupid expensive. Not by today's standards when you look at, like, what a 9000 series cable is, but there you go. Okay, so we're literally looking at just a single connection point. That's it. This is all insulation. You got 4-gauge worth of insulation. According to that center pin is like a 16-gauge wire, but that's it.
Directional, huh?
Are they directional?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, they are directional. So there's probably a shield somewhere in there as well. So it's just a really big, thick piece of coax cable that's super flexible. But that was the premium cable. Imagine having to run 6 of these through your car back to your amplifiers. I mean, 6 pieces of 4-gauge wire through the car. How crazy would that be?
That's crazy.
Right? I thought they were awesome.
Mm-hmm.
When I was younger, though, this was the dream.
Oh,
I
really?
never got them because they were just stupid money. And then, of course, when they started to give them away, I was like, oh, hey, do you have them? No, we don't have those sizes. But they didn't sell real well because they were, everyone wanted cheaper cables, I guess. I don't know. I'm sure there's a lot of people that did do well with them. We just didn't. Lots of fun there, huh? Looks like Fernando cut himself again. Well, no, he just doesn't heal fast. It's not Wolverine, man. When he cuts himself, it takes a minute or two to heal.
Yeah.
I like gifts. Everyone likes gifts. All right, let's see what we got here. All right, yeah. They had to reflash, reformat the factory radio, sync brain. Oh, so they had to reflash, reformat the factory radio, sync brain in my Edge. Oh, okay, so hopefully that didn't mess anything up other than, whatever it is that was wrong with it. That's cool. That was a continuation from last week for those of you guys that play along. He was taking his car in. We had done a DSR1 and all that, and he was... Naturally, Ford does strange things. So the idea is that if that was an issue, then we're going to pull it out and put an MTF1 in there, and everyone will be happy. Wish you guys were in Atlanta. There's a lot of places in Atlanta.
There's a lot of places in Atlanta. I mean, it depends on Atlanta because Atlanta's big too. So.
Are they big?
Yeah, I mean.
Oh, okay. Good call on that one. Good call.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah? So, yeah. What are you, stalling? Stalling for time? Oh, so today I had to... I know, right? I had to replace my water... So for those of you guys that use air compressors and stuff like that, you need to get the water line extractor to keep all the water out. And, I have a Campbell Hutsfield that I've been... Or whatever it's... For years. And it finally died. It started leaking out of the bottom. So I went to Lowe's and picked up this Cobalt. And they come with this cool bracket now. So instead of having to do, backstrap, generic crap like that, look at that. How sexy is that?
I finally figured it out.
Yeah.
You gotta mount this.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, oh, wow, okay. So that turned out really nice. And now the sad thing was I haven't had it for like 2 months or a month or two. And then it sat on my desk for another little bit. Also, today while we were working, we let the laser just go to town. And look at that. So we have all 10 snowflakes cut out. So we're going to come up with how we're going to give those away. I'm going to package them all up first, get them all boxed so that once we do give them away, it's as simple as just writing names on the boxes and get them out. So we're not giving them away yet, but we got 10 of these to give away. Yeah, and that only took an hour and a half to print those. Fun. All right, what do you...
I wish they will have the
What's that?
F1 out when I was down. So I can read the fact that I don't know when they're gonna bring that one.
Well, no, it's
out, no?
No, it's our guy from up north.
I know, but it's not.
It wasn't out when he came in. It wasn't out when he was here. So fun. Mm-hmm. We can come back so we can fix my back again. All right. Artie needs one for his rearview mirror. Artie's not that special, Joey. Come pick up the TV, by the way. It's sitting right here, okay? Here's the TV. So here's the TV, and then you guys can have these back because we already talked about them. What's the best replacement speaker for a Honda Element SC sub and 4 doors? I don't know about this. Oh, the center sub. I don't know what, honestly, we've never replaced the center sub in that car.
No.
In the Element? Yeah, we've always, I don't even know what size sub it is. The Hondas, like we've said, you need if you don't want to cut, you need a shallow basket 6.5. Kicker make all the kicker speakers like the C and the, what are they called? I can never remember. KS? KS? KS and the CS. Those all bolt right in. Pioneers will bolt right in. Some like a Dici will bolt right in. The Focal integration will bolt right in. So something that's is shallow like that.
Yeah.
I'll stop by in January when I'm down to fix the back. Okay. Sounds good. I would put one on my Christmas tree. That's what they're for. It's the Christmas tree. Got to put that stuff on the Christmas tree.
Christmas tree ornaments.
Makes mine okay. Makes mine look bad. We'll clean it up a little bit. All right. Well, hey, it's 5:45, which means
Any experience of
What?
dynamic stops?
image dynamic.
I'm gonna say.
Oh, audio dynamics. Oh, no.
No.
They're the ones that have that DSP that they keep talking about. They make that they're coming out.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see that. I think you can download a beta version of the software now and kind of play with it.
Okay.
They were running some kind of crazy special. Just kind of briefly looking at the software though, it looks mighty familiar. So, if I require 4 gauge, can I use 0 gauge CCA total of 400 watts? Yes, you can. Would you? No, but you can. I mean, I wouldn't. It's still CCA. So the rule of thumb for CCA, if you have to have it, which there's no reason why you should have to have it, is you have to go up a full size. So if it requires 4 gauge, you need to go 0 gauge. If it requires 8 gauge, you have to go to 4 gauge. If it requires 0 gauge, well, buy 0 gauge. Stinger makes the Stinger Select 100% copper kits, which are extremely reasonable. And it's 100% copper. I would look into those. I think where they save the money is it's a full kit. Is they put a lesser expensive RCA in there. It's still a great RCA. I mean, we've used thousands of them over the years. But the power wires, it's blue, it's 100% copper, and they're extremely reasonably priced. So I would look into that. That's a Stinger Select.
All right, let's see right here. Hey guys, do you guys tune a car a bit more vase heavy for driving a car compared to a car standing still? Okay, so like running?
So what we do is we put a volume knob for the subwoofer in there, and we make the subwoofers as loud as they could possibly go before they distort or clip or whatever terminology you want to use. And then we give the customer the ability to turn it up and down as they choose. So if they want more bass, they turn it up. If they want less bass, they turn it down.
Right.
But we're giving you the threshold of whatever it is we can get out of it. Sometimes, you do what I like to call an ass-ended system that has just a ton of bass. You need to be able to turn that down. The guy might not be doing an amp on his highs or be doing enough amp for his highs. So, yeah. What do you got?
How do you guys mold the plastic bores when mounting the amplifiers?
We have 3 things we use.
Heat guns.
That guy.
And this guy, right?
Yeah, so this is the power probe. This one is on DNF Tool Drawer. A link to it is on DNF Tool Drawer. This is the best portable torch you will ever find.
That is true.
This thing is phenomenal. It puts a little gassy gas in the bottom here. It fills up. I mean, and we use them a ton. I think I'm on my third or 4th one because I keep giving them away or breaking them.
Yeah.
So the one problem with this design is that if it drops, it shears the head off, which kind of sucks. And that's why we have different colors on them too. So because I don't know whose great idea it is to make tools black. They you can't find them in a car, so we put colors on them. Plus, then we know whose is whose. But I like breaking mine. But those are the best. Those things are phenomenal. And if you're a chef and you want to do a little flambe, definitely pick one up.
in the house. What's up, Johnny?
CCA equals poop. All right.
That's all right.
I think I would.
CNC.
I think I was gonna end the show. Is Fernando trying to hang himself? Oh yeah. What is that? It's braided loom.
That's a braided loom.
Yeah. Should I go ported? Sometimes. Should I go ported, sealed for a Rockford P3? I would go ported. I would port it all day long with Rockford P3. Love the Rockford P3. Yeah, big fat bass. Ooh, yeah, definitely. One of my favorite subs for sure.
Ported.
How do I get you guys to work on my truck? I'm driving down from New York next year. So the easiest way to do that is to start contacting Paul now, either via email or phone.
You can call him at 727-216-6170.
Grab the card like you didn't know the number.
I get confused sometimes.
Yeah, anyways, you can also contact him through email or call him and ask for the email, and then you start figuring out what it is you want to do. At some point, he'll bring one of us into it, and we'll go over it and make sure everything is what it is.
Gracias, Michael.
And then that's about it. Dean, have you had a chance to play with the Brazilian DSPs? No. Which one?
Well, actually, Sound Digital.
Oh, Sound Digital.
Sound Digital has their. I mean, right now everybody has a DSP, man.
Yeah, I know.
Everyone has a DSP right now.
It's all software, like PRV or those guys.
No.
So when we were at Knowledge Fest, there was a couple of those laying around that, I mean, at booths that vendors had, and we were like, ooh, those are kind of cool, and. So the hard part with those is, okay, so like a DSR1 retail is $269, all right? For $269, you get 4 channels of input, 8 channels of output. You get a 31-band EQ times 8.
Yep.
You get a crossover that's 6, 12, 18, 24, 36, or 32, 36, 48. Go! Linkwix Riley, Butterworth, you just get a ton of crap that for $269 there is nothing out there that will touch it. So those processors just, man, I just don't know. I just don't know why you would buy one.
Right.
I mean, I get it. Like if you have all those amplifiers and you're like you want it to match, I get that.
Yeah.
But
now, if you have the ability to grab the software and play with it, and you think that's better for you, like we always say, just play with the software, see if you actually like it, see if you understand.
Well, there again, the DSR1 software.
It's
I mean, don't get me wrong, the DSR1 is not the best DSP in the world, but it is the best DSP for $270.
It's very friendly.
Very friendly.
Now,
but when you compare it to a $1,000 DSP, the $1,000 DSP is going to destroy it. But it's 4 times the price. It's understandable. But when you're looking at that sub $300 DSP, there is nothing that's going to touch it.
Yeah.
Nothing. There it is. Thanks. Johnny B, you're going to hook me up with the DSR1. I'll try to schedule when you guys are in town. Yeah, Dallas Knowledge Fest. There you go.
Two DSR1s and they are working great. There you go.
Well, yeah, and that's the other cool thing about a DSR1 right now is that it's the only DSP on the face of the earth that successfully works as a high level, low level, or AR compatible 100% of the time.
All 3-in-1, baby.
There are DSPs like the Bit Nova.
Nova.
No, it's Novo. Anyways, they're on the fence.
Yeah.
So. How can I use an LC1 to get high pass on my front doors and my well, the LC1i is not a crossover. Do I tap the rear and the tweeters? Okay, so this is a video stream. This is the... Alright, so we have an LC7i that we're going to be doing videos on here maybe before the end of the year, maybe not. We're doing a whole big series because the LC7i is one of the most universal misunderstood pieces on the market, and we've touched on it. Like we have 4 or 5 year old videos that we did many years ago. They're quite goofy, but the information in them is amazing. Like we take you through and we show you, but they're old and it was from a different time when we were doing videos. We weren't as technical as we want to be now. But you can watch those and you can, aside from the goofiness, the information is sound and you can figure out what it is you're trying to do. But the whole idea behind the LC7i is that if you need to do summing, you have to make sure that what you're feeding it is there. So if you're tapping into a speaker and it's a tweeter, that's all it's going to put out as a tweeter. So you have to tap the mid too. So you have a tweeter, you have a mid, and then you sum the two together, and then with the volume controls, or gain controls, or whatever you want to call them, probably gain controls or attenuation knobs, you can blend the two to get the right amount of signal. Now, without having an RT on the other side, you're just going to have to use your ears, which kind of sucks, but it's hard, but it's doable. But LC1 will not combine signals. That's true. Stick to the topic. Oh, did it say LC1 or did it say LC7? I thought it said LC7i. Yeah, it does. Now, I'm using old school Pioneer. Okay, old school Pioneer DEQ76 audio control. How do I set my gains? With an oscilloscope. Always confused me how to do the summing. So, Michael, like I said, go back and watch our audio controls. There's an audio control playlist we have on YouTube. Go back and watch those. Like I said, they're kind of cheesy a little bit, but once we actually get to the information side of things, we have RTAs. We walk you through. We show you how it works, and hope that might help you wrap your head around what it's actually trying to do.
What is summing? Yeah.
But I understand you're trying to do it now, but that's what it is. You have to do summing. You have to make sure all those signals are there, and that's really what it is.
In channels?
Yeah. So, it's tough. All right, well, we tried. Hello from San Jose. Thanks. My bad. Came to the party. No problem, man. I'm trying to figure out what kind of harness do I need for 2003 Toyota 4Runner Sport with a premium JBL system. I don't want to use the steering wheel controls, factory subwoofer on factory amp. That's 2003. So 2003, somewhere in there, there's going to be buried a 1761 harness at the factory amplifier. So you're going to unplug the factory amplifier, and there'll be a 1761 there. If not a 1761, it'll be like a 1773, something like that. But you got to get to the two amplifiers first.
Yeah, it got to be 1761 if those.
Yeah, they're always in there. Yeah, but get to the factory amplifiers first, and then it's just going to be a normal Toyota harness there. Hey, Dean and Fernando, fix the noise feedback through my speakers from the blinkers.
Okay.
It was a ground loop problem, so I isolated and fixed.
Awesome, man.
Man, blinker issues used to be all the pain in the ass back in, like when you had 80s cars.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, you'd have to turn on the car. So one of the tests we used to have to do was sit in the car before, turn on the blinkers, turn on the hazards, or open down the windows, because those things didn't.
Feedback.
Well, they worked on relays. They weren't like solid state like they are now, where everything is just body control modules.
So you get it through the.
So every time that relay would click, you'd hear pop 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 through, and you're like, oh crap, we're not done. So it totally sucked. But yeah, it's cool that it was something like that.
It happens to me, yeah. And I was like, oh, I don't know it. It's a hunting car.
Yeah. Sucks to be that. All right, guys, listen. That was fun. It's 6 o'clock. We're going to head out of here. We gave you another 15 minutes. This has been 5 minutes of 5-star, right? All right, cool.
5 hours with 5-star.
Yeah. All right, guys. You have a wonderful night. We'll see y'all later next time. Bye.
See you tomorrow.
Hey, buddy.
Hey.
Small holes. Whoa. Small holes. Hold on. Before you do that. Before you go crazy. He's over here going all crazy. This size right here. That size. Okay. Now you got it? Make more sense? All right.
Really?
It should. What is going on, peeps? Hey, look at this. What is all that? Ooh. For all you Scar fanatics, these are Scar 2. So these are, I don't know what series these are, but these are their passives here. So this particular vehicle is getting a full Scar audio. What is this? There's no stickers on it. It's a Traverse or Chevy. It's a Chevy. Hold on. It's a Traverse. So we got a Chevy Traverse happening right here. And this one is fun. Oh, hey, there I am. So the amplifiers are going to sit right here. We had to pull out the seats, That right there. How fun is that? That is a battery, people. So there's no battery up underneath the hood. The battery is located here, right in this area. So we went ahead and took this seat out. Power wire is going to come up this side, follow that wiring harness, loop up. It's got to go forward and come back, because right there, that little spot is the only place where power wire can come into the battery, because the rest of this all sits on top of it. So there's a gasket that goes all around it. This little spot right here, this is an indention. So the power wire will come up around this way and in through here, and then we'll make a bracket for our fuse up in this guy. And then thankfully, Look at that. Ooh, this gets you so excited when you pop a battery terminal off and you see a place for a bolt. So very happy about that. That'll make things nice. The seat does this whole gymnastics move here, so this actually comes out last because it's got to go out the back door, and then this will have to come back in first. And it is very heavy. I know this because Fernando was late this morning with his kid, and I had to pull it out, and I was like, oh my gosh, yeah, my nuts, for sure. They felt like they fell out. So, and then for a subwoofer, this is a She's car, by the way. It's a full She's car, and she is a big Scar Audio fan, so that's why everything in it, other than the radio, which is a Pioneer, is Scar. And she's getting the I think it's a DDX. Yeah, getting a DDX in the Scar box. Now for the amplifier, that's going to be powered by the RP 1500.1D, and then we needed something really small to power the highs as far as physically small, because in the RP line, they're AB and they're gigantic, and we just really didn't have the room for a big, gigantic amplifier. So we went with this line, which is their SK Minis, and this is the M404. I've never worked with one of these before. I have no idea what it'll do. So we're going to figure that out today, or tomorrow, I should say. So right now we're in the process of making pretty amp board. Have the power side done. Remote turn-ons going that way. All the signal is going to work its way around. The amplifier is already screwed in. This uses a power plug for the speakers. So we'll snake that around, and that's why there's a gap here, so that they can come out this way into and connect, and then out here to the car. Now, what we had to do is they have a really big speaker. So the tweeter it's not a loud tweeter. I mean, as far as like a loud, like a Neo horn or some stuff like that, but it's a fairly beefy tweeter when compared to the factory. So what you see here is this plexi piece is a piece we laser cut, and then you'll see the bolts that come through, and of course you don't see them on this side. So we sanded the heads off the bolts so they were paper thin, drilled 2 holes to match up with these holes here, and then they came through, and then there's a bolt inside of there's one bolt there, you can kind of see it, that held this onto the car, and then this is 16th inch ABS with foam underneath it to lock this whole tweeter in place. So now obviously we can just pick it up by that, and that locked this whole thing into the factory mount. It's not duct taped, so it's bolted in place. Better than factory, because the factory the thing just clip in. So, and now the mount itself, the mount was fun to engineer. We did that this morning. So hold on. So of course, got the measurements wrong on the first one. I don't know what happened there. So this was like, really? Dean was not using the tape measure apparently. So this is what it looks like in shape. This is the size of the tweeter, and then these 2 guys here are designed to lock into these little clip mounts here. These are the clips that, allow it to stay in place. So they're pushing it into the clip. So it's locked in place. This mount is actually locking these clips in place. So no way for that to come out ever. So this is the mount for the Chevy. And the nice thing about the laser is obviously we have this now, so we can just change this size out for whatever tweeter we're adding. We can just go into the software, open it back up, shrink it down for a different size tweeter. That Scar amp's best ran at 2 ohm. This one, yeah, I agree. I think we are running at 2 ohm. I don't know what. Yeah, we're running at 2 ohm. I don't like running these RPs at 1 ohm. I'm totally against that. I always go up a size. So if we need a 1500, I run a 2000. If we need the 800, I run the 1500, and I just go to 2 ohm. Had that discussion with Shane over there at Scar, and it's unfortunately everybody wants their amps to be 1 ohm, and they just want to run them at 1 ohm, and it's like, and you get so much better performance out of the amplifier if you take it up to 2 ohm, especially in these amplifiers. If you're talking like a Rockford and I'm only using that as an example, insert any expensive amplifier line that makes a 1 ohm stable amplifier. Those things are way overbuilt in order to do that. These guys, it's a very affordable amplifier, so taking it up to 2 ohm, you're going to get better performance out of it, and definitely more longevity out of it, and that's for sure. So, lots of fun there. And I lost Fernando. He disappeared on me. That was that jingle. He got a phone call. Disney tomorrow for my wife's 13-year anniversary. Good for you, Bobby. Way to go. Bobby's made it 13 years. Mine will be 25 and tax day. Next tax day will be 25 years married. But this weekend we're going to Universal. So that's the plan. I want to become an installer like you, but I'm worried about future finances. Is money a big issue? Yeah, it can be. I'm not going to lie. It's not the easiest thing in the world to become an installer, for sure. If you get into a good place, then money isn't that much of a stretch. I can tell you a dozen places that are looking for installers right now. I'm in the showroom. See, there you go. The fan is blowing into the mic. That can't sound good. Anyways, it just really depends on who you get in with. A lot of the places, that I talk to that are reputable, they pay their installers rather well. But then again, you get into some places and they don't. They don't pay their installers that well, and then they want them to work, forever. I mean, we work 6 days a week. So it's not exactly what I like to call a fun thing to do. And it's I'm a runner by fun, but working 6 days a week is like running for as long as you can, and it does get tiring. So yeah, this isn't, I don't know of any installers that are rich. I'll just say that. Being a business owner, well, you're taking all the risk, but you're also getting all the rewards if they're to be had. But I also know a lot of installers that are comfortable. Like, I live a comfortable life. I've been doing it for almost 30 years now. I have a house. I have 2 cars. I have a kid I'm paying for college. I can still eat. Fernando's slacking off. No, he got the ring. We have a special Paul. He has a special ringer on his phone for Paul, so we know it's Paul. And it's like he probably had to go help him with a box or something. $7.50 an hour at a shop near me. Never again. Oh yeah, that's not even worth doing. So come on, $7.50 an hour, please. I mean, if you're just starting out and it's a part-time job, yeah. I'm glad I worked 4 10s, 3 days. Yes, that's cool. You're a business owner and Paul as a worker. Yeah. I wish. Well, no, I don't. I don't want the frustration of, this is one of those topics that can get deep. Believe it or not, this year I finally did actually start my own business. He's back. Which is this right here. This is the new business right here, Smash Force Productions. Fernando came up with the cool logo. Haley came up with the name. And that is the new business that is encompassing all this craziness that is the 5-star entertainment side of things. I didn't want to name it 5-star because we also have the boring life that equates into it. And also I didn't want there to be any confusion between the actual 5-star entertainment side of things and the 5-star business side of things. So if we just called it like 5-star entertainment, for one, that sounds like a stripper bar.
Okay.
I mean, it just does. And so we wanted to come out with something totally different. But that's the new business that's going to take over doing all this stuff in the background anyways. It just makes things easier, because he gets a paycheck from me for all of this. I of course draw a paycheck to do all this because this is a lot of work. I mean, obviously this is a lot of fun, but yeah, strippers, right? At ones, baby, make it rain. I still like the $1 make it rain. It's more like throwing quarters. But anyways, yeah, so we had to come up with a business to separate the two.
Yeah.
Lots of fun there. That's what we needed, right? Do you own 5-star company? No. Paul owns 5-star car stereo. That is his company. The problem is that the all the peripherals of it are my invention, but it's just what it is. Any options on Neo subwoofers? Any opinions on Neo subwoofers? Why not? I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, they're cool. Wire strippers. You should sell a set of wire strippers. The other thing, too, by separating the brands is that, like, at some point, like you talk about wire strippers, it would be cool to come out with some form of tools or something like that. You know, jump on the Steve Mead bandwagon where we have 3 CNCs and
Correct.
2 laser CNCs, and you know, but we have a product that we can
slow
sell.
down, mister.
So
No, not
that
yet.
would be the end game for sure. But we're way far away from any of that cool stuff happening.
It's a lot of money.
I got Ernie and Robbie to mail me an AMP T-shirt. There you go, Bobby. Good job, man. No, Ernie and Robbie, because Ernie said if anybody wants a T-shirt, just email me. And he'll email him a T-shirt.
All right.
Yeah, so he don't care. He don't have to pay for them. So
No, I know, but it's like, wow.
what's up, Johnny? What do you recommend for installing a subwoofer and a new generation Civic with the factory sub with factory head unit? Well, Civic isn't too bad.
What year?
New one. He just said new one. So, I mean, obviously, it depends. If you get a good amplifier, the good amplifier is going to have, let's say, 10 volts of high-level input on it, then you don't need anything. You can actually just attach it to that. So it'll eat, because it doesn't put out 20 volts or anything like that. So, I mean, amplifiers that have high-quality, high-level to low-level adapters built into them, you're rocking and rolling. Now, obviously, audio control makes amplifiers. So you got the ACM 300. ACM, right? ACM 301, or 1300, I should say, is
1.300,
that.
2.300.
Well, yeah, we're talking just subs. We're talking subs. That would be a simple amp to install. It's only going to be 300 watts, that guy. If you want to go full crazy, you can go all the way up to the 1.800.
That's crazy.
But then again, a lot of amplifiers now have, like all the Rockford Mini Ts, the punch amplifiers, they all have really good high level to low levels built into them that you can just connect up. And honestly, like if you look at like what an LC2i cost you, if you could just spend that money on a better amplifier, you get more power, you get a better amplifier. It would be a better way to go than trying to buy like an LC2i and a cheap amplifier, because those things are like $100. So, you know. Dean, you gonna make T-shirts for your new business? Yes, of course. I have a list of T-shirts I have to do, but the reason why you guys didn't get a video today is because I fell asleep at 9:30 last night.
In the bathroom.
I passed out in the bathroom, so I was like, I literally passed out in the bathroom, man. I woke up and my phone was in my hand and I was going, how long have I been asleep for? The girls didn't come knocking or anything, which I thought was kind of strange. Apparently they didn't miss me. So I just finished what I was doing and crawled into bed and went to sleep at 9:30. So I think that's the first time I've done that in a long time. But, you know, hey, this stuff catches up with you every now and then, so it happens. But that's why there was no video this morning. I tried, I really did, but it didn't work out.
All right, so Dean, if you had a budget of $250, component speakers, which one you buy? Either 6.5 or 6x9s powered by 5-channel Excellent.
6x9s. I mean, if the 6x9,
6x9?
if you can get the Exelon 6x9 components with the 3 or the 2, I would totally buy those, because that 6x9, oh my god, dude, that thing is just friggin' awesome. It's just awesome. So if they're in that budget price point, definitely pick those up. Yeah. Make sure it's the Exelon though. If you can't, don't get the regular line Kenwood, and I'm gonna say that don't get the regular line Kenwood, get the Exelon, because it's a totally different thing. It's not just a sticker. What do you suggest for 2013 Malibu? No sub, just make it a little louder. Pick up the Alpine 4-channel amplifier, the little 455U. Pick up a kicker key. Pick up the new 4-channel that they have, the one that goes on the back of the ILX W650. It could be a standalone. You can pick that one up. That one's a lot of power. It's 50 watts, but they're again heavy duty power. They're both high. All three of those are high level input. The nice thing about the kicker key, you have 2 ways you can run it: as a 4-channel amp, or you can run it as a 2-channel active. And it's just dip switches you set, and then the auto EQ feature totally takes over everything. You'll get time alignment. You'll get auto equalization. It's pretty badass.
That's crazy.
Kenwood coming out with any new flagship stereos next year? The answer to that is yes, only because they come out with new ones every year. And will they have neat new stuff next year? Yeah. Yes. Is there anything we can talk about? No. Do we know anything that we can talk about? Not really. but you can probably guess on your own what they're going to come out with, only because everyone else has it. And that's kind of what we did. So, and we didn't sign anything with them, so I really don't care. Didn't even have to wipe. Shit dried up. Way to go, Johnny. You don't let me down, buddy. You never let me down. My box keeps sliding around in my trunk. Any ideas on how to keep it in place? Yes, actually there is. All right, hold on. Let me try to get here. So let's say this is your trunk. This, carpeted area here minus this. We can just pull this out of here. I know, right? So let's say this is your trunk, and you have, and underneath here is your spare tire. Usually this has some piece of wood or something like that, and the box just comes sliding around like that. What we do is we take plastic, but you can use wood, you can cover it in carpet, you can paint it black, get like a 1-inch strip, maybe a 1/2 inch to 3/4 inch tall, okay, and cut it like 30 inches wide so that it goes from here to here, and then slide your box into place. Take a Sharpie or a pencil or pen or something, mark here and mark over here where that box is, but make sure you're on top of the spare tire cover. All right, next take the spare tire cover out, flip it over, put that board that you made, that's going to go across just like this, and screw it into place using washers underneath into that, so that the screws don't stick down into your spare tire, they stick up into the plastic. And what that's going to do is, now when that box, it's going to have a ledge that it's going to hit. Now don't make it super tight, make sure the box can still move about 1/4 inch, because it needs to be able to give. Otherwise, if you make it too tight, it'll just rip it out. You want it to actually have a little bit of slide, because that'll kill some of the inertia when you take off. But that will hold the box in place, and you won't have any issues. That's what we do anytime somebody wants us to mount their enclosure, because all you have to do to get it out is lift it up a 1/2 inch and slide it out. You can still get to your spare tire. We have shown that in a couple videos, but I don't know which one's off the top of my head. I'm sorry. Okay. You need to sleep. Oh yeah, definitely. Definitely. Cardio Systems, what's going on? Hey. Morel 4-channel amp. Yes. Love it. AB class. Totally. Lots of power. Sounds great. We were actually just talking about them before we went on. But yeah, so this guy right here. That's the one. The 404. It's a beautiful amplifier. It's very versatile. I personally like the 5-channel if you're going to do subs, because you can turn it into a nice 3-channel amplifier and get, a lot of power. But if you want to do a nice active 2-way set up front with a sub, you can use that. 5-channel or the 4-channel. My daughter wants to get loud, but her 2019 Chevy Trax LT gonna put all the Nemesis audio system and integrate into the factory radio. Wow, okay, that'll work. If you're gonna integrate into that factory radio, right now you're probably just gonna use some form of high level to low level adapter. And the only T harness we found, somebody wants way too much for them, like $250. So
yeah.
If it has a Bose system in it, you might want to check Nav TV, because Nav TV does make an interface for the Bose system, and then some of the 20s, and mainly the 20s and some of the late made 19s. If it is, what you want to do is you want to check the build on it. There's an IO5 and IO6. If it's one of those, you might be able to use the Amp Pro GM61. If it's not that, IO8 and IoT, I believe, is the new system. But that's something to check out. And you can find all that information on Amp Pro, obviously going to pack-audio.com or going to navtv.com. Have you used any of the 4-gauge spade terminals? Yeah, I mean, all the time. Kenwood amps still need spade terminals. Every time we take pictures of those, everyone always comments, I can't believe they're still using spade terminals. Oh my God. Oh, it's like, lighten up, everyone. It's like, it's not the end of the world. But yeah, this drawer right here is filled with spade terminals. We don't use a lot of them, so I mean, that's been there full for years and years, because we really only have one amplifier that needs them. And then if we need an 8-gauge for whatever reason, we still have those. But most of everything has switched to ferrules, so we have all the different ferrules. 0-gauge, uninsulated, 0-gauge insulated. I have 8-gauge. Oh yeah, wow, uninsulated. Stinger sells ferrules now, so if you guys need ferrules and you're like, I don't want to buy a whole bunch of them, and you have a Stinger or Amp Global dealer in your town, you can get Stinger ferrules now. Or if you want to call Paul, I'm sure will be more than happy to mail you them. They come in bags of 25, I think. So like here's the 0 gauge. And the cool thing is they give you the heat shrink too. So here's like some of the speaker ones with heat shrink, and they have all the key sizes. So 4 gauge, 8 gauge, 0 gauge, 12 gauge, 16 gauge, 22 gauge. But yeah, so they come with all the little shrink wrap in the bag. So like this is a 4 gauge one. So like that's the 4 gauge part number there. But yeah, and yeah, there's 25 in a bag. So it's a little bit more affordable than going with like Ferrules Direct, and plus you get the heat shrink, so that's kind of cool. One of these days we were going to film a video, that's why we have them sitting in this box. But yeah, one of these days we'll get around to that. I know, right? I think Kicker will make more versions of the key. Oh, think
like
Kicker?
why?
Oh. Okay.
You never know.
You never know. Good answer. I'll just preface that with saying that I had to sign an NDA when I went to visit Kicker, so there's certain things I can and can't talk about, and we'll just leave it at that. Once that's lifted, then I can talk about stuff. Until then, till Bart says, "Hey, you can talk about this." Really can't talk about it. Ever heard of Symphony? Yeah, okay. Sounds like ice cream. They sound
Symphony.
Seems fine.
Okay.
They sound incredible to me, but haven't seen them reviewed anywhere. I've never even heard of them.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm sure they could sound amazing.
Right.
Another reason to get Disney Plus is Obi-Wan's. We got Disney Plus. It's okay. I watched Boba Fett the other night. Haley and I sat there. What do you think about MVX products? We've done their Roadkill. We've done their Powerwire. I think we've done a set of speakers.
And we done.
Did we do an amp?
A distribution block.
We've done some distribution blocks.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems like a solid line. I don't think it's any better or worse than any of the other lines like Scar or something like that. No. They're all across the board. They carry a fine array of products. It seems solid. Yeah, and it's priced right. I mean, the nice thing about Car Audio now is that there are a decent amount of products out there that you can get a good or better product at a decent price point. It's when people start confusing those products with the higher end stuff, that's when you got to kind of look at them funny and go, really? 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 I mean, come on. No, I don't think so.
All
right. What size gauge of wire is on Speedwire? It is 18 gauge. Still trying to decide on components, Fosgate T1s versus Morel Maximos. Wow, that's like a swing. Holy cow. So, I mean, those are two totally different thought processes behind speakers. So going with a Morel as opposed to a Rockford. Rockford is going to have a bright, loud tweeter that is very bright, very...
It's actually, what are you actually looking for in music?
The Morel is not.
For me,
it's going to sound smooth and accurate.
Yeah, I would go with the T1s because that's what I like.
Yeah, not me.
Yes. So
and it's not because I'm a Morel fanboy, but I'm not a fan of that really overly bright tweeter like he is. But those are two totally different ends of the spectrum as far as sound goes. I mean, the Morel is definitely going to be a more realistic mellow sound compared to an over accentuated, the Rockford immediately sounds like you've turned your tweeters up.
All right, what would you do? 210s or 115? Both Fosgate P1s on a seal box.
In a seal box?
In a seal box.
210s.
210s.
I'd do 210s. Yeah. I mean, in a seal box, 115, it's just gonna it's not gonna have a wide range of music that it's gonna play. I don't think. I feel like I'm going to get more enjoyment out of the 210s just because I can, with as much as I jump around listening to music, I think I'm going to get more versatility with the 210s than I will with the 215s.
I agree,
yeah. I think it just comes down to versatility, not necessarily loudness.
Yeah. 360.3 or DSR1 with an aftermarket radio and components in the front and rears.
Wait a minute.
I mean,
say what? A 360.3?
Yeah.
That's a big no.
Yeah.
Or a DSR1.
With the radio components, front and rear.
I think I like the DSR1 option
Yeah.
better. I mean, the 360.3. Listen, I love Rockford as much as the next guy, but I really don't think the 360.3 was the funnest DSP software to use. It was one of the things that turned me off early on was their software. So, the DSR1 is definitely a 180-degree flip on that. It's way easier to use, and it's a way easier learning curve into getting into DSP. I feel once you've mastered the DSR1, you can move out to bigger, more complicated DSPs just because you've hit that wall, which is, I feel, how it is with anything that you learn to use.
Correct.
You maximize it to the point of where you can't get what you really want out of it, but it's learning that you need that extra is where it gets kind of weird.
Really, really want.
Yeah, so I mean, like right now, for example, the laser software we're using, it's not a full VCarve software. It's just a basic layout software.
And a lot of people use VCarve.
Yeah, that the laser can print off of, and we're it's all new to me. I'm a photo guy. I'm a movie editor. I haven't really had to do much in the way of design.
Yeah.
I mean, we've designed logos and stuff like that, but it's not anything that intense. So. For me, I'm using a design software that was $25 as opposed to $350, just so I can get an idea of what I'm doing. And then once I've gotten to the point to where there's things on this that I want to do that I can't do, I'll go off and I'll,
spend the money.
And start getting into that. But at least by then I'll have an idea of what it is I'm missing, more so than just there's everything there, go crazy. It's a weird train of thought, I know, but it's just what works for me.
All right, Dean.
Yes.
What does your personal system consist of?
Right now it consists of a factory Boston acoustic set of speakers, a Alpine 0850S DSP with the 8x25 watt amplifier built into it, and a Kenwood 906 head unit feeding into that. And then, of course, I have a ton of Morel stuff sitting under the counter here that one day will hopefully get put into it.
There you go.
But
that's the key, right there.
It's nothing. Haley has a much better system than I does.
Oh, yeah.
She's got the Kicker KS components up front, KS coaxials in the rear, Kicker key, and a Rockford P312.
Right. Yeah.
I enjoy driving her car. So.
Yeah. Sounds really good. What system do you recommend for 2010 Acura TSX? What speakers? Like we say.
Depends what you're trying to do. The last Acura we did, I think, was a TSX. The guy was a rock and roller. He really liked rock and roll. And we went with some Hertz Milli Pros. We went with some Hertz Milli Pros. We did our what we call front stage upgrade, where we take a 5-channel amplifier, we go active on a front stage, and we add a subwoofer. So we went with the Kicker Q Class 1005 to power the front Milli tweeter, front Milli mid-range, and then we went with a Hertz. I don't remember which sub we did. It might have been a Milli sub. I don't remember. And a sealed 12 in the back, and freaking sounded awesome.
So that was like a 3-channel mode. Yeah.
Yeah, and then the rears and the center. In that particular car, you could turn the center off, which was nice. We did that, and we could also obviously control the volume of the rear, so we faded those down. And that, for that we just did a little bit of, because that particular amplifier has an EQ DSP, the whole 9 yards in it, so we EQ'd all the speakers, got everything sounding good. Minimal amounts of time alignment. I don't even remember if we did any, because the car already has it, so it's just a matter of getting things loud and cleaning it up.
All right, hang on. Is directed audio same as a PPI? Directed audio.
I have no idea. I mean, are we talking back in the old days when Directed made like directed amplifiers and Viper amplifiers? Because they did own PPI back then. It might have been, but it's tough when these companies own a lot of different brands. Sometimes, there is a lot of crossover. Like it's the same circuit board and a different heatsink. But back then, it probably would have been different everything, because they could do that.
That's awesome, Bobby. Okay. So they say, any recommendations for an aftermarket deck for 2011 Chevy HHR LT with the steering wheel controls and OnStar?
So that's just going to be the interface that you're going to use. That's going to allow you to retain those things. If you want to go pack, it's going to be something with an RP5. You could go, obviously, RR compatibility with that. That is all retained through that interface. If you want something that's RR compatible, if you need a CD player, you know, Kenwood, Pioneer, they all make that. If you want something that's straight up trying to be cost effective, obviously like an RP5 and an ILX W650 or an RR with a W650. I will tell you though, you won't get RR integration. You'll just be using it as an RP5. But if you want like gauges and tire pressure and to be able to control all the back end stuff that's in the stereo now, you want to go RR.
All right. So didn't say. Sorry, Bobby.
I was gonna say, wow, what did I say?
I'm off for 2 weeks. And Christmas, I will come down and help you to put the Morel stuff in your car. Look at that.
I appreciate that, Bobby, but stay in California. The weather is much better there. And honestly, around that time of the year, we won't have time to do nothing.
No.
That's like crazy stuff.
So,
I'm just going to take my, in February when we see Morel, I'll just take my yells. They'll be mad at me, and just like they were. And it's okay, though, man, because I will love Morel forever, and I will talk about how great they are, and I'm kidding. They're not mad at me. They love us. I mean, they went and sent us the coaxial Integra carbon Virtus because we talk about them and they're so sexy. So hey, let's talk about them. You guys keep bringing them up, so here we go. You got the carbons, man. Ooh, who could not find a sex? Look at that. Look how thin that is. Is that not just silly? That is awesome. But yeah, I mean, dude, nobody's making anything like that. Nobody. And having it sound good, forget it. Those guys are geniuses.
Yeah.
So they came out with the Iron Dome and the Virtus Carbon Min. Yep, go ahead.
So working on a 2019 Chevrolet Trax.
Okay.
Will be a headache. Guess I'll be seeing you guys in the beginning of March.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Will it be a headache? Not really. I mean, 2019 Chevys, we've pretty much seen most of them at this point as far as the ones that are popular. We know that the 2019 has a totally new plug. It's just a new plug. All the wires are the same. All the headaches are the same. Like we just did the Colorado last week or the week before, whatever the heck that was. And honestly, for a factory deck, that was one of the easiest to fix that we've ever ran into. Like, wow,
it was
cleaning up the signal. I was like, damn, that was like.
So just
sounded
one thing,
amazing.
if you actually want to come
make sure
down
you
over
contact
here,
Paul.
Just call, set the appointment.
Unless you just want to stop by and say hi, in which case you can stop by any day you want and say hi.
Right.
And you'll get a cool lanyard that's right over there hanging next to the big warhorse.
Well, I need a 6-channel amp to add rear speakers 6x9s to my stock system with juice door speakers.
So here's how you think of it. Every channel you want to amplify, you need a channel amplifier for. So if you're just doing rear speakers and they're coaxials, that's 2 channels. If you're doing front speakers and they're coaxials, that's 2 channels. If you're doing 2 channels and they're components and you're going to go with a passive crossover, that's still 2 channels. If you're doing components up front and you want to go active, well then that's 4 channels. So that would be a total of 6 channels. Now, most people, the reason why the 5 channel is so common is because most people are going to go passive or coaxials up front, coaxials in the rear, and then some form of a subwoofer, which would be the 5th channel. So it just really depends. Now, another reason to do a 6-channel amplifier that we do quite a lot is if someone's just trying to get a boatload of power to the front speakers, in which case you'll take the amplifier and bridge it to a 4-channel amplifier, and you'll combine channels 1 and 2 to the left, 3 and 4 to the right, and then 5 and 6 will go onto the rear channels. And that will give you, like 250 watts for the front and 100 watts for the rear. So it just depends on the goal of the system. Is that all totally necessary? It just depends what you're trying to do.
All right, looking to upgrade a current single 12 in my Grand Cherokee. I have 350-ish price range. I'm looking for a SKU.
So, do we have an amp? Does it have an amp?
single 12 in my Grand Cherokee.
You have you want just a better 12?
Yeah.
I don't know what 12 you have to make a recommendation.
Right.
I mean, next.
Yeah. I'm in Dash Kit, sorry, for a 2014 Hyundai Sonata. Thanks, guys.
I'm thinking I would look on Metro. MetroOnline.com.
Doesn't make that,
That's going to be the company to check. If Metro Online doesn't have it, chances are good it doesn't exist.
Right. Check MetroOnline.com. Check Pack Audio, Skosh, probably. I don't know.
Yeah, but I'm thinking Hyundai seems to be something that Metro's really...
Jeff is here.
Jeff is here?
Yeah, it's Jeff right there.
I
think it's Jeff.
Yeah.
I think it's Jeff.
Yeah, it's Jeff. That's Jeff. What did he say?
He said
215s for sure.
Oh, because they say 215s or single 18 in a below 3.
Oh, yeah, 215s. Yeah, definitely. And Jeff,
area.
I agree with Jeff. Jeff says go with 215s. 18, dude, big speakers like that are slow. Why not just do 218s? 218s all day long.
Wow, man.
If we're going to go, fuck it. Let's go 27s, man. Let's get 227s. And I won't bleep that one out either.
Rated R now.
Well, I always keep that, yeah.
Okay.
Hey, you get one cuss word, right? I think we're at 3 so far for the show. Not that I'm keeping track or anything.
Okay, call Paul, because I'm coming all the way from El Paso, Texas.
Yeah, give him a call, 727-216-6170. Always set up. If you're planning on having us do anything, don't show up, because we're days, if not weeks, out on certain things. So
and for those kind of systems, then you guys traveling, they's not going to work. So just call, set the appointment, talk to Dean, talk to Paul.
Thoughts on Focal components and amps? Love them. Flax are one of our number one selling speakers for sure when it comes to Focal, along with the performance not performance, but the integration series. We sell a ton of integration, sell a ton of Flax. K2s are awesome. We talked about laser stuff.
Jeff want to talk about laser stuff.
You should come by and talk about laser stuff. We were using the laser today. We made some killer pods. For those of you that are tuning in a little late and didn't see what we were doing on this, we're doing a full SCAR audio build on this particular car. So you guys ask us, do we do SCAR? Yes, they're getting a full SCAR audio build. SCAR audio mids and highs, SCAR audio amplifiers, and of course we made some tweeter pods that we had to laser out adapters for to mount these into the factory locations. They're nice and bolted in place. I can love the laser. This is better than factory as far as that goes. That tweeter will never, ever fall out of there. The little airbag thing will fall off the panel all the time. But my tweeter, that thing will be there, and it's serviceable. I can pull these two nuts, pull this tweeter out, put a new tweeter in, boom. That's right, I said 2 nuts. So
okay, so Bobby said, all my KS speakers polarity blink red. So when I add the 5-channel amp and run the speed wires, should I reverse the wires to make blink green?
So it doesn't matter whether they blink red or green. It just matters that they all blink the color you want them to blink.
Same way.
If you want everything to be in the same polarity, make sure they all either blink red or they all either blink green.
But if you are like Dean, then it's like, no, yeah.
They want them to blink green. So keep in mind, too, is the subwoofer. So if the factory wiring is backwards and all of them are blinking red, know that the subwoofer you added is more than likely going to be green. So you may have to flip the polarity on your subwoofer 180 degrees.
Now, some of these...
So that you get the imaging up front.
Yeah.
And also, it depends on the tweeters. Sometimes the tweeter manufacturers will wire their tweeters 180 degrees backwards in order to compensate for crossovers that are not necessarily the best. But then again, it also, or if they're 12 dB crossover networks, but then it depends on distance and on axis, off axis. So the best place to start is with everything moving in the same direction, and then you can kind of play with it from there. But the polarity checker is merely just a tool to make sure that everything is doing what you want, and then you can manipulate it from there.
What are your thoughts on Focal components?
Didn't we have that like just a second ago?
No, that was different.
That was a different question? But it's the same question.
Well, okay,
they're great.
Awesome.
K2s are some of the best components out there. Honestly, given the choice between Utopia M's or K2s, I'm going to go with K2s. I like the way they sound. Fernando loves the way they sound. The high-up Focal stuff is unreal, by the way. Got experience, SQ stuff, summer, Utopia series. There again, I wasn't as impressed with the Utopia stuff. Above and beyond anything.
That speaker is
It's
not
just
for
not
everybody.
for everybody.
Like, not because it costs a lot of money, you think that it's gonna be like, oh my god. It's no. It's for a specific customer.
Yeah, and that's not what most customers are doing. Just because something costs thousands of dollars doesn't mean it makes it
Honestly,
better.
I believe that speaker is not for me.
Oh, it's not. And I've heard it now, and I'm just like,
Right. Yeah.
I'll take the K2s. You know.
That's
I mean,
what I hope.
yeah, so those are the K2s right here. Let's take a look at those, because why not? We got them, and they're here. So you got the cool K2 yellow cone that is synonymous with the K2s. You get aluminum basket. These are the tweeters. Do you have both tweeters here?
I have the other one.
So they make two different K2 tweeters. This is the, I'm going to say semi-affordable version of the tweeter, which is just a polite way of saying
but this
cheaper.
Is the KX2.
This is the better
X.
speaker. This one here. So when you compare the two, you can see there's a substantial difference in size. So yeah. So this is what comes in this, which is the K Power series, and then this is the higher end tweeter. This isn't gonna fit in everything, that's for sure. Doesn't it? Does it pop out of this?
Yeah,
it pops out of this, so you can get it a little bit smaller.
Yeah.
But yes, here you go. I know you put your hands out like,
Dude, don't break heads.
relax, man.
This is.
But this is, even though this is not a metal tweeter, it is obviously an exotic material, and it is stupid rigid, which is what gives it its very crisp, crystal clear sound, and then you get the big crossovers. Now, the cool thing about the two-way set, the three-way set is built into the same chassis.
Yeah.
But because of that, on the two-way set, they're bi-ampable. And this is what we mean by bi-ampable, in that you can run a channel for the woofer, a channel for the mid-range on input, and then you can get your outputs here. So if you don't have an amplifier that's capable of doing active, you can do an active system in that you get volume control from the amplifier to set your gain overlap, but passively crossed over, or should I say, using a cap and a coil to cross it over.
Cap and a coil.
I guess it would still be passive, because it's not like you can get in there and adjust it like you can a fully active crossover.
All right.
I'm like Dean. I want them green.
What?
I know, Bobby. But the subs and mono amps suck donkey. Okay. Those K2s look just like the Image Dynamic series. Yeah, they're not, though. I can tell you right now. A lot of speakers look the same, but that doesn't mean they're the same. I mean, we sold Image Dynamic for years, and what was it? The Hex. The Hex series. So a funny story about the Hex series, it was the reason why it's called the Hex is the cone was made out of a composite material that was a hexagon in shape. And when they first started making those, there was a ski manufacturer that was making those because it was summertime. So they needed revenue to be made. So they made speakers or whatever anyone wanted. So they made the speaker cones for Image Dynamic. And then when Image Dynamic went to order again in wintertime for the second part of the year, they were making skis. So Image Dynamic couldn't get any cones made because they weren't making anything other than skis. That was what they made their money doing, and it was time to make skis again. So there was no Hex speakers to be had for a while because they had to find a totally different manufacturer to manufacture their cones for them. But the Hex for years, like the original set of Hex,
you say you're welcome to Wolf.
What?
The package.
Oh, you got a package? Did you like it? A little bonus. Yeah. So.
What's up, Cody?
Yeah, it was funny. That was one of those oddball things that happens in car audio. The other thing too that was funny about what was it? Oh, that might have been Diamond. Was I thinking Image Dynamic? That was Diamond, by the way. That wasn't Image Dynamic. Image Dynamic, they spent all their money trying to develop that silly DSP. We were a big dealer for them too.
Why you were not in Cabo?
What?
Kicker.
Why am I what? Why am I not in Cabo with Kicker?
Cabo, yeah.
Two reasons. One, I don't own the store, so therefore I can't sell the product to get to go. And two is no desire to go to Mexico. I don't need to go to a hot place with palm trees and beaches. We live in Florida. It's a hot place with palm tree and beaches.
You don't even
care.
go to these beaches.
Don't like water. Not a fan.
Yeah.
It's where the sharks live. It's all good. You know? So that's that.
Yeah.
How's it hanging? A little to the left right now, Cody.
That's Cody.
Yeah, a little to the left.
A little to the left.
A little to the left.
It's all right.
Maybe to the right, because I'm compensating because I hurt my left toe, so I've been compensating with my right leg, and everything's not doing all that great on that side. It's a great time. It probably is, but it would be totally lost on me. I would, if I won or if I was qualified to go, I would just give the tickets to somebody else because it wouldn't be anything I'd be interested in doing. It's not my thing, you know. Now, if you say, hey, listen, there's a week's paid vacation out to California to go see a bunch of crazy California shit, like where the stars live and stuff, I'm there.
Cali?
Oh, wait, I did that 2 years ago. You know, spent a ton of money to do that. So, I don't know. I'm not into, like, I cannot sit on a beach and sun and relax.
So you definitely moved to Cali?
I don't know if I could move anywhere. I like living here, but, you know, if I had to choose, they have similar weather.
Bobby, start looking for places for Dean.
Yeah. To make greens, switch speaker wires or at harness with speed wire. I would make it as close to the speakers as possible. So I would either do it at the speakers or wherever you have your speed wire coming in. So probably behind the radio is where I would switch it, not at the amplifier. The other thing to contend with too is that if there's any passive crossovers, I would then do it at the passive crossover and not before the passive crossover. So for example, like if you have a capacitor on the tweeter or the 3-inch mid-range, I would then go to the physical wiring and change it before that so that my cap stays on my positive lead and not my negative lead. So that's something to consider too when switching all the wires. That's why sometimes it just makes sense if they're all 180 degrees, just leave them at 180 degrees. It's not going to hurt anything.
Right.
Is that it?
Yeah.
You sure? You good?
So.
Is that it for today? Okay. Well, it's Friday. You know what that means, people? Not a damn thing for us because we got to work tomorrow, which we're going to be finishing this guy up tomorrow. And, of course, it's Saturday night, so we'll be doing the live show at 6 o'clock.
Correct.
Barring we get this car done. But for now, we'll let you guys get back to your day. It is, well, lunchtime is over, and it's almost time for some of you guys to go home as it gets closer to the 5 o'clock hour.
No, we're not filming this car.
No, we're not cool like that.
That's what we're showing you right now.
Yeah.
What's going on. It's nothing crazy about it. You know,
no,
factory brackets. This is the bracket. This is the factory speaker. You grab the best kits speaker adapter.
But if you have any questions on it, I'm sure we'll be able to answer them for you. So, lots of fun. All right, guys. Well, hey, thanks for tuning in and spending some time with us. You guys get back to work and have a wonderful day. We'll talk to you later. Bye.